Audio. Audio. Is anybody out there? Hello. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome and hello. Thank you for coming to yet another Ryan Hall, y'all, YouTube stream here. How's it going, guys? As always, I'm a little bit behind today. Got some stuff I still have to finish up here. Thanks for tuning in. Where's everybody from? Where's everybody watching from right now? Let's see your locations there in the chat while I fix a couple things here on the stream. Thank you so much for tuning in once again. We got a lot to talk about today. Okay, this is a long-term storm. All right, this is seriously a very long-term storm. So we're going to be talking about this for a while. I'm calling this stream the Snowathon, okay? Because I'll probably be live for 20 hours over the next 2 days, just talking about the snow. And it's not like we're just forecasting either, okay? This whole time we're going to be not forecasting and nowcasting, of course. And then we're going to have the live people on the ground. So usually we just talk about the storm. Okay, for the next 8 hours, it's going to do this, this, and this. But this is going to last for multiple days. Okay, we got snow today. We've got ice today. We got a big ice problem that we're going to be talking about. We've got severe weather possibly tomorrow. And then just all kinds of crazy stuff going on. So make sure you guys are, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss any of these, updates that we're talking about here downstream. Let me do one more thing here. I've got to change that little ticker. That was the one thing I forgot to do. All right, we should be good now. We should be good now. All right, so I am going to go ahead and get into the weather models, okay? Well, first of all, actually what we're going to do is we're going to look at the forecast or the radar here, because I want to show you what's going on right now. I want to give you a full idea as to what's going on right now. And then we are going to look at what's going to happen next, okay? And this is going to be a common theme today. We are going to constantly be going back and forth between once again, looking at the current radar, checking in with our current storm chasers and all that good stuff, and then going back and looking at the forecast models into the future and all that stuff. So once again, this is a long-term event. Let's get into this. I'm going to stop jibber-jabbering. Big, huge shout-out to Elmer Reed already with the big-time support. Let's see here. Grace Case. He says, Texas PTSD crew, save us, Ryan. Hey, I'm here. I'm here to save the day. Misty Rudd, thank you for becoming a Slight Risk member. We got some, not only are we going to relay some really important and information today, we've got some really fun stuff that we're going to be doing too. So hope you stay tuned for all that. I've got a bunch of storm chasers out there today that we're going to be checking in with, but we are once again a little bit behind the game. Vince, if you can drop me a link, your server link on Twitter again. I guess I've just got the wrong one now or something. I'll put you up there. But yeah, we've got Vince out there in Wisconsin. He's heading down to Illinois. We've got Mike Scantlin in Oklahoma. He's going to be in and around that area. We've got Brett Adair in around the Dallas area. And then later on, we're going to have Brandon Copic in Ohio. Okay, so we literally have the whole thing covered here. We just got to wait for them all to wake up. All right, so let's take a look at what's going on right now. This is a current look at the radar across the United States of America, and literally almost exactly as our forecast model showed, that plume of moisture from the Gulf of Mexico has met up with our polar cold front, and it is producing heavy snow, sleet, freezing rain, and rain across portions of the central U.S. into the Great Lakes region and the Ohio Valley, and then, of course, down into the deep south as well. Now, there's a lot of threats that we have to talk about here today. Obviously, the two main ones, the top stories, are going to be our major snow up here in the north and portions of Illinois and portions of Indiana, Missouri, obviously Michigan, Ohio, and even back into Kansas and Oklahoma. That's going to be one of the top stories. However, another big thing that we're going to talk about is the ice. Right? We all know about the ice. We've got a big ice storm on the way, more than likely. So we have to talk about that. And then some of you guys may have not even known about this, but we have a pretty significant flooding threat down here from Alabama into Mississippi, into Tennessee and Kentucky. Flash flood watches are out right now for a lot of these people. And then on top of that, tomorrow we have a pretty decent chance of severe weather down here in Louisiana and Mississippi, maybe even into southern portions of Alabama. So I'm going to get into all of that as we go forward, but we're going to start up here with the snow. We're going to start up with the good old fluffy stuff. It's currently snowing pretty hard there in Kansas City. We've got a pretty decent band of snow getting ready to work into Columbia, Missouri, which we do have a live camera there. Look at that. Thank you to our viewer who submitted this live camera to us here in portions, once again, in Columbia, Missouri. We're going to have access to this, I believe, all day. So this is one of the places that may receive over a foot. So we'll keep checking back in here. Once again, thank you very much to who sent this in. If you can tweet at me one more time, I'll give you a shout out because I, for some reason, didn't put your name on here, but very appreciative of you guys supplying some of the live coverage out there today. Of course, if you want to send in a picture or a video or a report, I will relay those intermittently as well here on the channel, and you can do that on Twitter at Ryan Hall, y'all. And additionally, now you can also send it to me on Facebook. If you would rather do it on Facebook, I've got somebody watching over there, and they're going to send me your pictures so I can show them here. So that's Ryan Hall, y'all, on Facebook as well. We're going to relay your reports all day long. It's a really important part of our snow coverage to be able to kind of match up what the radar is showing with real life, right? Like it's very important that that we do that because sometimes the radar lies a little bit or it doesn't know the full truth, if you know what I mean. So give me just 1 second here. I'm going to try to get old Vince's just so we're not blank above our head there. And I still don't see anything there. But we're gonna keep trying. We're gonna keep trying to get him up. Still don't see anything, Vince. I don't know if you're watching right now or not. I don't know what's going on with that. It worked automatically last time. But anyways, Vince is in Wisconsin right now, and he is on his way to Illinois here within the next couple of minutes. Oh, there we go. We got him up. There he is. So he's going to be heading down to Illinois. He'll be covering the road conditions down there. I'm guessing between Rockford and Peoria, somewhere in that region. And then he might even dip down towards the ice threat tomorrow and the severe weather threat. Once again, we do have storm chaser Mike Scantlin down here. That'll be live in about 20 minutes in the Oklahoma area. We do expect for some of this precipitation to fill in, and we're going to have a decent ice and snow threat down here as well. And then once again, we do also have Brandon Copic and Brett Adair down here that are going to be helping us out. But yeah, this is what the radar looks like right now. Let's take a look at the forecast, okay? Let's see what's going to happen in the future. Because that's what really everybody wants to know, okay? That's what everybody wants to know. We can look outside, Ryan. We can literally look outside and see what's happening right now, okay? We don't need you with all your fancy YouTube equipment to tell us what's happening right now. We have a window. So what's going to happen in the future? That's your job, Ryan. Tell me what's going on there. Okay, so let's look at some of the model data. Let's go over to our weather models. This is the NAM 3-kilometer model. If you want to keep up with the date and time, it's going to be down there in the bottom corner. Okay, you see it down there where it says NAM, North American 3 kilometer, and then it says 1 a.m. That's in Eastern time. Okay, so keep that in mind. Let's jump to where we are right now, about 8 a.m. and this is a pretty good representation of what the radar actually looks like right now. And we are going to jump forward in time here and see what the future is going to look like. We're going to continue to see this moisture stream up into the cold air, and that's going to continue to cause problems with flooding down here in the deep south. It's going to continue to cause problems with sleet and ice in portions of Missouri, Illinois, and Indiana, and then it's going to continue to dump heavy snow up here in the what I've been calling the slam dunk zone between Peoria, Champaign, and northern Illinois, all the way into the Detroit area. So let's push it forward. Okay, that's 8 a.m. What about around lunchtime today? How's it going to look then? Not a lot different, really. Our first big plume of moisture is still, lofting all of that energy up to the north. It's still dropping snow in places like Fort Bend, Indiana, and Detroit, and a lot of Michigan there. And we're starting to see our sleet and freezing rain break out a little bit more back here in southern portions of Illinois and southeastern portions of Missouri. Okay, and then I've been saying this the whole time, guys. This is a 1-2 punch. So a lot of you guys in Missouri and Illinois, it's going to stop snowing today. It's going to stop snowing, or at least significantly slow down for a good period of time. And I can't wait to see it, because we're going to see a lot of people come onto Twitter and like they might even march down the streets with their pitchforks saying, well, the weatherman said it was going to snow a foot or 2 feet, and it's already done snowing. Well, don't worry. The second punch is still on its way. It's getting formed up over here in Texas and Oklahoma and portions of Colorado and New Mexico and Kansas about 5 p.m. today. Okay, this is when we're really going to see this start to show up and produce some sleet in the Oklahoma City area, in the in the central Texas area, and maybe even some heavy snow back here in the panhandles of Oklahoma and Texas. And this second punch is really going to be the main deal. Okay, this is going to be the main part of what we're talking about. This is actually going to be probably the number one thing that we have to look out for as far as our snow totals go, and as far as our sleet and ice goes. This will be the thing that tops everybody off and finishes the deal as far as our forecasted totals go. Now, around 11 p.m. tonight, that's when we're going to start seeing that freezing rain and sleet breakout in portions of Texas and Oklahoma. Okay, and now I started this stream pretty early today because I wanted to include a forecast, right? I didn't want to just come on here right in the middle of the event when you guys already knew everything that was going on and just kind of show pictures and stuff. I wanted the forecast to be a big part of this stream. So yesterday I was thinking about maybe being live from this morning at 8 a.m. all the way until 6 p.m. But what I might do is I might only go until like noon and then take a short break and then come back later in the evening so we can cover a little bit of this more. It's up to it. I mean, it's really up to you guys. I've cleared my schedule completely for the next 2 or 3 days so I can cover this. But I can only do around 11 hours a day of coverage. Okay, because the YouTube limits there. So actually, if we split it up into 2 streams, I might be able to do more than that. But we'll continue to look at that idea as we go forward. But I would like to be here because we do have Mike Scantlin out here in Oklahoma. I would like to be live here, and we also have Brett Adair down here in Texas. I would like to be live when they are actually in the middle of some of the worst weather so we can show you what's going on. So I'm just thinking out loud here. Stay tuned. Turn them notifications on. Something's going to happen here. And I'll let you know before too long. Now, that second punch is going to bring some more snow up there to some of the places that are seeing it right now. And, of course, this is also when most of our freezing rain is going to start occurring along the Ohio River areas from Cincinnati to Louisville into the Paducah, Kentucky area, all the way down into western Tennessee and south central portions of Arkansas. Additionally, we're going to see some sleet and ice down here in Texas as well. We are actually looking at at this possibly being a pretty significant situation down there with power outages and stuff. So we're going to look at that closely as we go forward. And then that second punch is really going to amp up around 4 p.m. tomorrow. This is when some of the heaviest snow is going to be falling up here in Ohio. This is when we'll have Brandon Copic with us. Also, Indianapolis is going to get buried with snow during this time. And even St. Louis is still going to be a snow town, baby, at this time as we watch that continue to progress. This is also around the time we're going to have that severe weather threat down here in Louisiana and Mississippi. And of course, whoever ends up under the sleet and freezing rain for the longest period of time is going to have the most problems with all of their, power outages and stuff like that. So this is going to be around 4 p.m. tomorrow is when we're really going to start hearing about all of the power outages, the trees that are down, the roads that are closed, and all that stuff from the ice storm. So I know there's a lot of people who are pretty concerned about the ice storm in this area. It's not going to be until tomorrow that you really start to see some of the very detrimental impacts. But the earlier you start to see the ice fall, the earlier you start to see the freezing rain, the more concerned you should be, because the longer the duration is that rain falls, the more accumulation there's going to likely be. So this is actually going to be moving out of Texas around 4 p.m. tomorrow. There's going to be one last big shot of snow coming through Oklahoma as we go through later in the day on Friday. And then really that band of ice is going to slice right through central Kentucky. That does not look good, guys. My goodness. If that was to actually happen, an area from Paducah to Louisville to Lexington is going to have very, very detrimental impacts from this storm. And then, of course, we have to talk about the Northeast. Right now, it still looks like mostly a rainstorm down here in southern New England and the Mid-Atlantic, but there is that opportunity for that freezing line to kind of slice through you there and cause our problems with freezing rain, ice, and sleet in Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island, portions of Pennsylvania and New York and North Jersey as well. A bunch of snow, though, up here in Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine on the north side. That's something that we will also touch on briefly as we go further through the day today as well. So, man, honestly, this is kind of overwhelming. It's hard to keep up with all the moving parts here. And honestly, the forecast has changed quite a bit, even though the overall areas of impact haven't changed. Like, this has been a slam dunk forecast since 6 days ago, as far as what the models have been showing, as far as the general idea of what's going on. But these little small intricacies on our higher resolution models like this, the convective allowing models, a lot of changes are taking place here. So it'll be interesting to see what actually happens on the radar as we go later through the day. Let's zoom in here into the deep south real quick, because I want to show you, I know a lot of people are tuned in and they're worried about that severe weather threat tomorrow. I want to show you what we're talking about. Around noon tomorrow through, let's say, I don't know, probably midnight, honestly, we're going to have a severe weather threat down here, because all of this moisture that's coming up into our snowstorm is going to meet with some of that colder air with the cold front that's coming through and produce possibly some supercell thunderstorms down here. So let's take a closer look at this severe weather. Let's look at that composite. Okay, wow. Yeah, so we have a nose of CAPE. This is a convective available potential energy that is feeding up from the Gulf of Mexico into Louisiana, into Mississippi, into Alabama. That is going to more than likely cause severe weather tomorrow. Once again, around the 4 p.m. time frame, I wouldn't be surprised to see severe thunderstorm warnings and also tornado warnings, because if we put all of our parameters together and look at that significant tornado parameter, we get up to about a 4 out of 10 here. Near, let's see here, west central Mississippi. What's that near there? Meridian, Mississippi, over here near Philadelphia. Now, obviously, guys, I'm not trying to freak you out. This is not going to be a major tornado outbreak. This is not going to be a March or April kind of deal, but this is something that we have to pay very close attention to tomorrow, as a couple tornadoes are certainly possible in this area as that cold front comes through. So that's just another aspect of the severe weather that we have to keep a very close eye on. Let's go back out to the whole U.S. here, and let's take a look at those snow totals. All right, let's see what the National Forecast Database snow total forecast is. And let's put this all the way out. Now, some of these totals, man, still look a little bit too far north and west to me. I still think that if anything is going to happen here, it's going to shift south and east, okay? If we end up getting surprised by anything that goes on with our nowcasting versus our forecasting, it's going to be that there was a slight shift to the south and east. However, this is still the forecast here. We're talking about possibly 3 or 4 inches of snow there in Amarillo by the time this is all said and done. Remember, there's 2 punches. We ain't talking about by the end of the day today. We ain't talking about by the end of the night tonight. We're talking about by the end of the day tomorrow. We are possibly going to see 3 to 4 inches around Amarillo, Texas. Wichita Falls might end up being the Texas sweet spot with maybe around 6 inches. Dallas is still looking like 1 or 2 inches, maybe. Dallas might have to worry a little bit more about the ice rather than the snow. Oklahoma City's uptrended a little bit to 4 or 5 inches. Tulsa might get 6 inches of snow. Southeastern Kansas there, near Springfield, Illinois, or Missouri and Joplin, you guys can see 6 to 8 inches of snow. Now, where our camera is here in Missouri, over here near Columbia, Missouri, we are looking at potentially receiving 6 to maybe 7 or 8 inches of snow. I still think that a lot of these places still have the opportunity to get around a foot of snow, but it just depends on how that second band slices through you. We pretty much know what's going on with the first round because we can see it on radar. The second one is the one that's really going to put the cherry on top, if you will, for exactly what we're going to experience as we go forward. St. Louis, I still think you can get a foot. I think you can get a foot of snow out of this thing. Let's see here. Portions of central Illinois near Springfield, we're talking about 10 inches or more. Peoria still looks like around 8 or 9 inches or possibly a little bit more than that. Let's see here. Champaign, Illinois. I still think that's a sweet spot with about 15 inches of snow possible. Lafayette, Indiana. Okay, about 15, 16 inches. This is the middle of the road, by the way, guys. A lot of you guys will see more than this. Some of you guys might see a little bit less than this, but Fort Wayne, I still think you're in that 16-inch region. Let's head on over here to the east a little bit more. Northwest Ohio. What about Toledo? Okay, foot of snow or more. All right. Findlay. All right, 10 inches of snow or more. Away in the northeastern Ohio near Bryan, I think you guys are in that 15-inch range there. Detroit. How would you like to see about a foot of snow today? And then Jackson, Michigan, around 10 inches of snow or so. So once again, every number that I just called out is a middle of the road number. Somebody out there is likely still going to get a foot of, close to 2 feet of snow, if not more. And the reason that's significant is because what happens is we don't get this kind of snowstorm very often in this part of the world. Okay, I think because of all of the major snowstorms that we have been experiencing here recently, like the big one that we just saw over here in southern New England, a lot of people think, well, you know, a foot or two of snow is no big deal. We get that all the time. Well, that's not true in central Illinois and portions of Indiana, and especially not in Ohio or Missouri. In fact, there's only ever been one snowstorm, one snow event that's produced more than 2 feet of snow in Detroit. There's never been one, as far as we know, as far as we've been writing them down, in Champaign, Illinois. So, you know, if anybody out here breaks 24 inches from this storm, it's going to be quite the, the memorable or historic event, whatever you want to call it. So, very, very interesting stuff. So this is the middle of the road forecast for snow. Now, the freezing rain forecast has uptrended quite a bit. Yesterday, we were talking about maybe a half an inch of ice out here in extreme northeastern Texas between Dallas and Sherman, for example. That has kind of uptrended. I wouldn't be surprised if some people saw over a half an inch of ice over there in northeastern Texas. Now, I'm specifically talking about in between I-35 and I-30, north and east of Dallas. This includes Sherman, Paris, Greenville, those places south of Durant and Hugo in Oklahoma, which those places are included as well. I think this is going to be the sweet spot for ice accumulation in Texas. Remember, ice is bad. freezing rain is bad. This is going to cause power outages. This is going to cause travel problems. Hopefully you've already took your, preparations seriously and all that stuff. But there is still a little time to prepare if you haven't, okay? I like to say, gas up that generator, put gas in the vehicles if you haven't already. Just imagine that you're not going to be able to leave the house maybe for a couple days. And then also, charge stuff up. Charge stuff up. If you got phones and tablets, make sure they're all fully charged. And if you have them, the little backup battery packs, let's go ahead and get those full as well, so that if there is a power outage, you'll always be able to keep your devices up and running, because I don't think we're going to have problems with losing cell service and stuff. This isn't like a hurricane or a tornado. I think you guys will have cell data no matter what, but the power, the electricity, that might end up being the problem. And that is especially true here in Arkansas. Little Rock, all the way over to Jonesboro. Still thinking you guys can see over a half an inch of ice accumulation from this thing. And we're upticking it even more there near Memphis, okay, in western Tennessee, guys. This is one of the places I'm most concerned about. From Memphis up to Dyersburg and Union City in western Tennessee, you guys are going to see ice, okay? You're going to see freezing rain. Now, hopefully, the forecast is wrong. We can always hope that the forecast is wrong. However, if it's not, this is the kind of ice storm that can produce prolonged power outages. Okay, we're talking about more than just a couple of days. This is the kind of ice storm that can bring down a lot of trees. Okay, not just a couple, a lot of trees, and also it will essentially make travel impossible for a little while. So hopefully you guys are prepared over here. I hope what I hope happens is that we don't get all the ice accumulation and we end up getting mostly sleet. Because if you see here on our radar, if we switch over to nowcasting here and we look at our radar, one of the things that we're noticing is the oranges that you see, this is sleet. Okay, this is all sleet here. We've got a couple areas of pink, and that indicates freezing rain. However, for the most part, we are seeing sleet. Now, the difference between sleet and freezing rain is incredibly minimal as far as like actually looking at the dynamics of the atmosphere. So, just the slightest little temperature change at the surface or at the mid-levels can change 3/4 of an inch of ice accumulation to a couple inches of sleet, which is still, tough to deal with, especially as far as travel goes, but it's a lot better than ice accumulation. So we're going to hope for that. But in the worst case scenario, here, we are going to have some very detrimental ice accumulation in western Tennessee. That also goes for western Kentucky, okay, along the Ohio River. Let's zoom in on the Ohio Valley now. Along the Ohio River from Paducah through Louisville into Cincinnati, and then even a little bit further east into Lexington, Kentucky. I think you guys have the opportunity to see more than 3/4 of an inch of ice in some of these places, which once again will cause power outages. It's going to cause all kinds of problems, and we have to take this seriously, guys. It's one of those things where this is one of the hardest things to forecast. I would rather forecast tornadoes, and you guys know how unpredictable tornadoes are. I would rather forecast tornadoes as far as determining accuracy goes versus an ice storm. These things are extremely finicky, all right? A lot of you guys, you could end up with way more ice than what we're talking about right now, or you could end up with none. The idea is the average of all of the possible outcomes results in this situation, which looks pretty bad. Okay, so we want you to be prepared for that because given the information that we have and all the technology and algorithms and models that we have, this is the most likely scenario. However, as you guys know, just because something's likely doesn't mean that it always goes that way. So it's extremely unpredictable. Some of you guys outside of the darker pinks will receive ice accumulation. Some of you inside of the dark pinks will receive a little ice, and then a couple miles to your north and east, you might have literal like a catastrophic ice storm. It's going to be finicky today. That's why it's important that you stay tuned and keep up with our live reports and stuff. And that's also why it's important for you to continue to send in reports via, Facebook and Instagram and all that good stuff. All right. So Hopefully that gave you a good idea as to what we can expect from the upcoming storm. Obviously, the forecast isn't perfected. Once we get past this line, the forecast for snow totals and ice is not perfected because we're still going to have a little bit of wobbling with the models. However, if you do want to look at the latest, let's look at the GFS, for example. The GFS does show significant icing from Pennsylvania into New York, into Connecticut and Rhode Island. So that's another place that we'll have to look at that. And then additionally, we see a lot of snow up here as well in Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine, and upstate New York, western New York, northwestern Pennsylvania. You guys are going to get in on this as well, but I have to focus on places to your west for now because of the significance of what's going to happen over there. I promise you guys are going to get your turn. I'm going to be doing nothing but talking about you more than likely as we go forward. So I'm going to go real quick and take a look at some of your pictures and your videos that you're sending in. Thank you guys so much for sending in so many. How do I do this? How am I going to make this work? So we have, pictures and stuff coming in from Facebook as well as Twitter. So on the ones for Facebook, I'm not actually going to pull up Facebook. I'm just going to show it like this. Let's see here. Man, that's really small. We'll work on this. We'll get this perfected as we go forward. But this is from Lisa K in Wilmington, Illinois. They already have a bunch of snow up there in Wilmington, Illinois. Look at that. And there's more than likely quite a bit more coming on top of that. So thanks for sending that in. Let's go over, though, to Twitter. Once again, this is probably going to be the best way for you to send in your reports today. And let's continue to look at some of these. Thank you, Clayton, for sending this video in. Thank you to, let's see here, Life Through the Lens for sending this in. This is from Normal, Illinois. Okay, so you can see there that they've got a decent little, scuff of snow, I would call it. And then, okay, here's Kyle Perry. He's the guy that's given us the stream. Kyle Perry. Thank you so much for allowing me to use your stream today. He's in Columbia, Missouri, where they've already got a decent amount of snow as well, and we've got a live view of this as we go forward throughout the day. And he's even he's linked up with me, and he says if we want to change the angle of this camera, if we want to zoom in, if we want to put a sign out there that says something specific, he's willing to do it for us. Okay, so if you guys have any ideas for that, let me know, and we'll get that done. But thank you, Kyle, for real, for including us in that. Let's see. We've got all kinds of pictures and videos coming in. Remember, if you do send a picture or a video or anything like that, please include your location. It's important that you include your location because I don't know where you live. I don't know where you live. Here's all the way over in Kansas. Robin, thanks for sending this in. So already in Harrington, Kansas, looks like we've got a big slushy amount of snow, maybe a little bit of ice there. And once again, yeah, it's not done there yet. It's absolutely not done. You're going to see quite a bit more than that. We've got Lockport, Illinois here. Thank you, toll booth worker. Thank you for sending that in. That's a decent amount of snow already down on the ground there in Lockport, Illinois. So once again, this is another place that'll likely be one of the areas that win a little bit as far as total snowfall accumulation goes, because of course you're going to see more with that second push of heavy snow that we get in. Let's keep looking through here. Keep sending them in, guys. Once again, this is at Ryan Hall Y'all on Twitter. At Ryan Hall Y'all on Twitter. Or you can send them in through Facebook. Whichever way you want to do it. It don't matter to me. Send it in a DM or in the comments section there on the main post on the page. We got three inches of snow already in Branch County, Michigan. That's another place that's more than likely going to end up a winner out of this storm. 3 inches of snow piling up there. So thank you for sending that in. We've got Storm Chaser Brendan starting his day off right. The Breakfast of Champions, okay? He's got his powdered donut, and he's watching the stream. Thank you for tuning in, man. Thank you so much. Jeff Watts, he's got the same idea. We were already getting started this morning. Everybody, we're all here together. We got 13,000 people tuned in right now. If you haven't done so yet, one of the things that we like to do here to get the word out about our stream and our coverage and the more the merrier, right? If all 13,000 of us was to go to the link or copy the URL to this stream and then share it on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, send it in a text message to a family member or friend, we could get this vital information that we'll be sending out today in front of countless people. It's worked in the past and it'll work in the future. So if you're feeling generous, share this everywhere you can. Or if you don't have the time to do that, or if you just don't want to do it, maybe you don't have social media, just slap that like button and the YouTube algorithm will promote us to the people who need to see this the most. Thank you, Annie, for sending that in. So yeah, we got a lot of reports and videos coming in already. And Vince Waelti is still, he's getting ready to leave. He said this is the reason for the delay this morning. Hey, that's fine. I totally understand. Sometimes you just got to do dad stuff. I mean, there's no way around it. And honestly, it's more important. It's more important than the snow right now, okay? Here's we got a trucker sending in us a picture from I-80 near Joliet, Illinois. Thank you for sending that in. That's looks like the roads are pretty bad out there already. Once again, this is Interstate 80. And of course, we're going to see a lot of treatment crews out there. Of course, we're going to see a lot of plow trucks. But sometimes during some of these bands of snow that fall, we are really going to see the snowfall rates kind of overextend what our crews are able to overcome. So we're going to keep an eye on all of your pictures and videos as we go forward. Looks like we got a video in from Facebook. This is from Bloomington, Illinois. Bloomington, Illinois. Thank you so much for sending this in. This is Cindy M. Sydney M. from Bloomington, Illinois. You can see there. Looks like we have some decent wind blowing too. That's something that I haven't went over much. There's no blizzard warnings out today. However, it is possible for a lot of you, especially in Missouri, Illinois, and Indiana, and Michigan. It's very possible for, especially later today and into the day on Thursday, for you to experience intermittent blizzard conditions because the winds are going to be ripping pretty good out there. So thank you so much to Sydney M for sending this in right here. Also, we got a ton of people right now who are like supporting the channel. I'm going to take a quick second to shout some of you guys out. Jack Elliott, thanks for becoming a member. Roy Massey, thank you for that. Adriana, thank you so much for the support. Hippie, thanks for becoming a member. Lieutenant Likes, thank you for becoming a member. Ray, thank you. Trisha's Kitchen, with the very generous 20 bomb there. And I saw earlier we had a couple 50s as well. So we've already got people just absolutely tearing it up today as far as the support goes. That goes a long ways. Remember, our Storm Chasers, we couldn't have this. We couldn't have our Storm Chasers out there if it wasn't for you guys. Vince Waelti is going to be leaving and heading towards central Illinois here within the next little bit. And if it wasn't for your all support, we wouldn't be able to financially get these guys to go, out in the snowstorm for us, okay? Thank you so much for all the support, for real. So here's Peoria, Illinois. This is interesting. I wanted to see this because if we kind of, if we look at the radar, and we go to Peoria, for example. So we've already seen one big blast of snow come through, okay? And that's pretty much where all of that accumulation is coming from. However, we have another large area of moisture that's trying to get its act together back here. This will fill in and become a big band of snow that also slices through Peoria a little bit later today before the snow ends for the day around, once again, 3 or 4 p.m. So you'll see more snow on top of what you've already got. You might even double it. And then it's going to stop snowing for a while. And then the real snow, the real heavy snow kicks in tomorrow. And that's when we'll see some of our big totals come in. It's technically, what's everybody saying? I-O. Anyways, it's technically kind of like 2 storms that are hitting. However, because of the time frame that it's happening, because it's happening in basically like a 2 or 3 day stretch, we're referring to this as 1 storm. But really, technically, it's 2 that's coming through, and there's going to be a little break in between them. A tiny little break between them. Hey, Stelia, thank you so much for becoming a member. Tony, thank you. Deanna, thank you. Skaterbell, thank you. Shirlene, oh my goodness, how many members do we have now, guys? Thank you so much for becoming a member. I owe you guys a members only live stream. We're going to be doing that really soon. Ohio, everybody's saying Ohio. Man, we got a lot of Ohioans tuning in. This is what Ohio looks like right now. It's not snowing pretty much anywhere in Ohio yet. It's going to be rain, okay? I talked about this. If you've watched the videos for a while, or for any amount of time, really, leading up to this storm, you've known that it's going to start off as rain in Ohio. Now, a lot of Ohio, specifically south of Dayton, may stay rain, okay, for the majority of this thing, and only get a little backside ice and snow there. However, you know, right now it's all rain. We do expect from Cincinnati up to just south of Columbus, there is going to be an area where significant freezing rain is possible. However, for the most part, everybody north of this line here is going to see snow, and we're looking at a foot or more up here near Toledo. Basically, the closer you get to Toledo from central Ohio, the more snow you're going to get, all right? And then Kentucky, I know we got a lot of Kentuckians tuning in right now. I know we got a lot of people who are really worried about it, and you should be, okay? I'm not kidding. Like, this is going to be a pretty significant event. If some of these ice totals do come to fruition in that red circle there's going to be power outages, all kinds of travel problems, and hopefully you've already done whatever you need to do to prepare for this thing. But this isn't the only area of Kentucky that needs to be concerned today. Also, south of there, okay, into Tennessee as well, we are going to be talking about potentially flooding, okay? We got a flood watch out for a lot of people. In fact, speaking of watches and warnings, let's take a look at Radar Omega. Okay. By the way, this is, you guys know this. This is one of the sponsors on the channel. This is my favorite radar app. You can get this daggone thing in the App Store. And, hopefully, one of our mods can kind of go get our iOS and Android links from the last sponsored video with them.
All set up and stream is up.
Awesome. That was Mike Scantlin. He's up. So Frank, if you could set up Mike's stream for me, that would be great. He's live and ready to go. All right, sounds good. We're getting ready to pull you up here in a minute. So Mike is live now. We're going to go tune in with him here in a minute. But anyways, this is a Radar Omega. All right, it's in the App Store. It does cost money, but just like with anything in life, stuff costs money sometimes. All right, especially the good stuff. So anyways, we're using it right now to kind of look at all of the watches and warnings that are out there. And look at this, guys. That's insane. That's actually insane how many people are under a winter weather watch or warning right now. Okay. Holy smokes. that was my first time saying it today. I don't know how many times we'll hear that today, but holy smokes. This is, everybody needs to screenshot this. Everybody needs to screenshot this because, it's not very often that you see a winter storm, warning swath that big. All right, so keep that one in your memory bank there. So just to get into it, we do have a warning, or a winter storm warning for Denver, Colorado Springs, Santa Fe, Albuquerque over here. Now, a lot of this is happening in the higher elevations, but even on the Front Range over there, we're going to see quite a bit of snow. Possibly, let's see here, 1 to 4 inches in the Fort Collins area. Down here in southeastern Colorado, we're looking for 8 to 12 inches more than likely. So that's your winter storm warning updates for that. We also have a winter storm warning for Dallas. Okay, National Weather Service issued a winter storm warning for freezing rain, sleet, and snow. Total ice accumulations of 0.2 to 0.5 inch, and sleet and snow accumulations up to 1 to 3 inches. It's going to be a mess down there in Dallas. Austin, Texas, you're also under that that winter storm warning for maybe 1/10 to 1/4 of an inch of ice and maybe even a 1/2 an inch of snow. Little Rock, Arkansas, you're under a winter storm warning for a dusting to an inch of snow expected, with the main concern being ice. Let's see here. Wichita, Kansas, what are you looking at there? 5 to 7 inches with your winter storm warning. Now, over here, obviously, if you're in the pink, you're under a winter storm warning. That includes Columbus, Ohio, Cleveland, Cincinnati, Toledo, and on up to into Michigan, Detroit as well. However, if you're in the purple, this is the kind of the most serious warning that we see right now. If you're in the purple here, you are under an ice storm warning. And this is not good. Once again, around Paducah, Kentucky, your ice storm warning is for accumulations up to 3/4 of an inch and winds gusting as high as 35 miles an hour, guys. And that is not good. When you throw the wind gusts on top of the ice accumulation, that is, I mean, it's just, honestly, it's what you don't want to see when it comes to ice storms, because you throw 1/4 of an inch of ice or 3/4 of an inch of ice on a power line. It adds hundreds of pounds of weight. And then you start swinging that back and forth, it's almost certainly going to snap. Same thing for trees. Same thing for pretty much anything that's just kind of hanging out. Lexington, Kentucky, also under the ice storm warning. Now, the blues over here, this is going to be your winter storm watches. So that means watch out. Hey, I don't know. There might be a winter storm coming. We don't have the confidence yet to issue a winter storm warning, but it is more than likely coming, especially for Albany, Portland, and Bangor, all the way up into Caribou in the northeast. And, of course, we do already have those warnings for Syracuse, New York, and a lot of Vermont, New Hampshire, as some big snow is expected over there. We got an official sponsor a moment ago, and I've already lost him. So, if Frank or if somebody can tell me who that last official sponsor was, I would greatly appreciate it, because I want to make sure I shout out every single official sponsor. That's a huge deal. Thank you to whoever that was. Janet, thank you for your contribution. Mr. What? Mr. Inc? Mr. Inc says, Ryan, I love the way you lean into the weather reports. The best weather forecast I've ever seen. As a public servant, it's important to get the best and latest information to plan services. Thanks for all you do, sir. Well, thank you, man. That was super nice. I love the kind words. I just go to my YouTube comments. Anytime I'm feeling down, I come here and look at the live chat, or I look at my YouTube comments. I've never seen a comment section or a community on YouTube that is so nice. Like, usually the internet's a pretty toxic place, but I feel like what we've got going on here, everybody is just really just positive, and I'm very appreciative of that. So thank you guys for being good people. All right, so Frank, do we have him up yet? Do we have Mike ready yet? And then we're going to pull him up here in a second. I know we've got him up on the map. I've just got to make sure that he's also up on.
Yes.
Okay, well, he's up on the stream. So let me come over here. I do have to refresh. And bada bing, bada boom. There we go. We got professional storm chaser Mike Scantlin, the Scant Man, as seen on the hit show. What is it called? Storm Chasers, there on Discovery Channel with Reed Timmer. We love having him on the team here. He is in the Tulsa area. Let's pull up the map and take a look at where our guys are. We do have Vince Waelti up here heading into Illinois, and then Mike Scantlin is in the Tulsa, Oklahoma area. He's just going to be driving around a little bit, showing us the latest and greatest and what's going on there. Obviously, not a lot is happening right now, but more is going to be happening later this evening, and we might be here for that as well. So let me set up my little stream here. Let me do some live producing for you. Let's get Mike's camera on the map panel here, because we're getting into the nitty gritty now. Okay, it's time to start nowcasting. It's time to start having our storm chasers down there on the ground, getting us prepared, getting us ready for everything that's happening. We appreciate these guys for literally putting their lives on the line to give us a view of a ground truth of what's going on out there, because as I've talked about before, it's not always the best just to rely on our radars. Okay, sometimes sometimes you gotta put a little, not put so much faith in technology. How many of you guys can agree with that? Real people, real eyes on the ground. That's always going to beat it. That's always going to beat everything else. All right, I'm just about to be done with my live producing here. All right, I think that's good enough. Okay, so we got Mike down there on the bottom right. We've got professional storm chaser Vince Waelti down here on the bottom left. Or as we're supposed to. Here we go. Here we go. All right, there we go. All right. All right, bear with me, guys. Once again, one of these days, I keep talking about it. One of these days, I'm going to have somebody that helps me and does all this stuff in the background. But for now, you just get to watch me do it. Hey, Kyle, thank you so much for the 20, the big 20. He says, Louisa, Kentucky is in the winter storm watch, but the information in the watch says up to 2 inches of snow with 2/10 of an inch of ice to 4/10 of an inch of ice. Can we expect to switch over to an ice warning today? So that's something that we're going to watch very closely. That is something that we're going to watch very closely. It is possible that this ice storm warning that we've been looking at is going to, kind of transfer over to the south and east. I've been talking about this for a while, guys. If you've been watching the videos, I've said over and over again, if this thing trends in any direction, it's going to trend slightly to the south and east, and it looks like that might be what happens. So, yes, it's very possible that some areas in eastern Kentucky go under that ice storm warning. Certainly, I'm very surprised they don't have it issued yet for more northern areas in Kentucky up there near Cincinnati. But for the most part, the heaviest hit areas are already under the ice storm warning. Okay, so from Memphis up to Paducah and Louisville, those are going to be kind of the hardest hit areas. So the Weather Service is just kind of doing the same thing as us. They're nowcasting right now. They're not too worried about looking at the models and stuff, because they're looking for that ground truth in the same way that we are before they start kind of upping their forecasts and stuff like that. So it is very nice to have professional storm chaser Mike Scantlin on the ground. Let's get an update from him. Hey, man, how's it going? I know not much is happening out there right now, but why don't you tell us what your plan is for the day, how long you're going to be out there, and what are you expecting as we go later on into the evening? We'll get an update from Vince here in a minute as well, as soon as he's available. Anyways.
Good morning, Ryan, and everybody. We had a couple rounds of freezing rain earlier. You can see the roads are a little wet, but, you can see there are no problems. People are getting around just fine. Some of the bridges and overpasses have a little bit of glaze on them, but right now there are 0 accidents that I can see on Google Maps. I've driven a couple laps around downtown on our dispersal loop that we have here around the downtown area, and I haven't seen any problems. The bridges and overpasses are just almost there. We're sitting right at 30 degrees, 29 degrees now, actually, and we're just right on the cusp of where things start to turn downward here. We're about to that point, and fortunately we got the morning commute out of the way before things kind of hit the fan here later this morning.
Yeah.
And then later this afternoon we will be switching over to a sleet and possibly heavy snow mix. So all our accumulations are pretty highly dependent on what those timelines are, but I'll be out here all day just keeping an eye on it, just hoping things don't get too bad, and I'll let you know what I find, buddy.
All right, so that was professional storm chaser Mike Scantlin down there, and he's going to be out there for a while. Let me ask him, what time, if I split my stream up today, and let's say I end around 1 o'clock and then come back later this afternoon and evening, are you going to be out there around 8 to 10 p.m., or are you going to be in before then? I'm trying to figure out if I'm going to split my stream. I
will be out at least starting at 4, and then I'll probably be out until midnight or 1, depending on when the snow hits. I like to be out whenever it really gets bad, and then maybe take a couple hours of a breather before the morning shows. But I skipped the morning shows this morning. We had a little bit of drama with one of our meteorologists didn't want to come into work, and they pretty much told me not to come in this morning and to save myself for this afternoon anyways. So that's what I'm going to do. And, whenever you need me, I'll be out here, buddy.
All right. Thank you, man. That's probably what I'm going to do. We'll hit it back up this evening as well, and that way we can get you out there and some of the more significant stuff. But for now, just keep checking in with us every once in a while. We love to hear from you, and if I have any questions for you, I'll hit you up on here as well. And hey, Laurels, thank you for becoming a member. That's huge. Thank you. So let's go back over here to the radar. I don't even remember what we was talking about. What was we talking about, guys? Oh yeah, snow. It's snowing. Welcome to the new age of weather reporting. It's snowing out there. No, for real. Let's go and take a look at some of our latest reports and videos and pictures and from you guys. You guys are awesome. We really do have the best coverage here. Like, there's nobody else that's getting hundreds of pictures from every angle of Illinois, Ohio, Indiana, Missouri sent to them right now. All right? And that's all thanks to you guys. Thank you so much. Here we go. Arcadia sent this in, woke up to this in Springfield, Illinois. This is what it looks like in Springfield, Illinois right now. And once again, that looks like a little half a blizzard to me, okay? All right? I don't know if you guys caught my my descriptive way of describing different kinds of blizzards the other day, but if you did, this is a half a blizzard. All right, not quite a blizzard yet. Thanks for sending that in, though, for real. Here is Jason C. He's currently in Charleston, Indiana, and had a fresh slate since it was so nice yesterday. Man, it's crazy how much snow some of you guys have already got in Illinois and Indiana. That first punch has really done well for some of you. And I know some of you are underperforming, some of you are overperforming, but I really do think the second punch is going to be what adds the most totals, especially if you're near Fort Wayne, down through Springfield and Indianapolis even. I think that's going to be the number one area for y'all to receive some of the biggest amount of snow. Let me see here. Frank, did you find that those links I was talking about to Radar Omega? Here is Kalamazoo, Michigan. It's coming down in Kalamazoo already as well. You guys already have a pretty good amount of snow down. Once again, this will be another place that ends up changing their name to Snowtown, baby. Thank you, Cassie, for sending that in. Here we go, Corin. You got snow coming down here in Colorado.
Not yet. Let me look some more.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, it's in the last, maybe chat can help you out. The last sponsored video we did with Radar Omega. I know a lot of people have already downloaded it, but like the links are in that video. If you can just copy and paste them, put them on a command, and then give them to me in the Discord there, that'd be great because I've got to have those down there. But yeah, anyways, this is snow coming down in Lamar, Colorado. Thank you, Corin. And then, of course, here's an update on the reason why Vince Waelti hasn't left his driveway yet. He just had dad stuff coming up. It's all right. It's all right. You ain't going to miss much, man. The snow is still going to be coming down here in a couple hours. And honestly, it'll be more interesting to see the impacts later in the day than right now during the beginning stages of this thing. So thank y'all for sending in your reports. Remember, you can continue to do that on Twitter at Ryan Hall Y'all. Here is Anthony, Kansas. How about you, Anthony, Kansas? How many Kansas people do we have in here? What do you guys call yourselves? So, Maine, people that live in Maine call themselves Mainers. Kentucky calls themselves Kentuckians. What about Kansas? Well, I've never heard that before. What do you call yourself down there in Kansas? Anthony, once again, it looks like it's pretty gusty. Looks like it's pretty gusty out there. A quarter of a blizzard, more than likely. Let's see here. This is a pretty interesting tweet here from Chad. He's kind of noting the similarities between the ice storm trajectory and also the big significant tornado outbreak that we had in December. Not too long ago, you guys remember the really, really sad day we had on December 10th and 11th where that big tornado outbreak happened there. There's certainly no reason why that's happening, but it is very unfortunate that some of the hardest hit areas from that severe weather will also be the hardest hit areas from this severe weather today. I feel for you guys. I really do. And I'm going to do everything I can to keep you as updated today as I did then, whenever we were tracking that. So thank you. If you guys are here today, thank you for tuning in and continuing to put your trust in me. Springfield, Illinois. Big old flakes, big old fluffy flakes. Hey, Elmer Reed, I saw that, man. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. these people that are doing the big contributions. Everybody, you need to say thank you to them, guys, because that's a huge deal. Once again, we couldn't do what we do here if it wasn't for them. Let's go back over here to the map, see if we got anything going on. All right. So I am going to update the description of this video real quick, and hopefully our mods can post the links to Radar Omega there just a couple times. So that way anybody who's interested in getting that Radar app, they can do that. Give me just a uno momento here. How long have we been going? Already down about an hour. We've been going for an hour. Oh, we're getting ready to do something cool, something new here that we have never done before. Every hour at the top of the hour, we are going to do a forecast breakdown. Okay, so obviously for the next 20 hours or so, I'm going to be very zoomed in on some of the hardest hit areas here. And if you live in West Virginia, okay, or if you live in Iowa, maybe you live in Iowa, you might feel left out. You might feel left out. You might be like, well, what's happening here? Why isn't he talking about me? I tuned into this live stream, and I want him to mention my city name. I want him to mention my state name for whatever reason. So we're working out a way to make that happen, okay? So if you live in a place that we're not constantly talking about today, every hour at the top of the hour, we're going to do something called a forecast breakdown, okay? And basically, I'm going to come over here to the radar, and I'm going to zoom out, all right? And we're going to talk about everybody else for like 2 or 3 minutes, okay? So if you live down here in the Pacific Northwest, if you live in Florida, if you live in, some of the outskirts of the areas that we haven't talked about a whole bunch, we're going to kind of focus in on you and talk about what's happening now, and then we might even talk about what's going to happen in the future with the forecast. While I'm doing that, you guys have 2 or 3 minutes to take a unique picture. Maybe it's of your dog. Maybe it's of you and your family sitting around the TV watching the Ryan Hall Y'all show. Maybe it's you've drawn the Ryan Hall Y'all logo in the snow. Whatever it is, take a unique picture and put hashtag Break It Down Ryan and tweet that at me. Or send it in a message on Facebook, and our moderators are going to pick the most unique once an hour, and make sure you include your location, your town, and your state, wherever you are, and our mods are going to send me one of those, and we are going to do a personalized forecast just for your town, okay? So get as specific as you want. If it's Old Creek Road down there in Tennessee, I'll do it, all right? We'll spend about a minute on it, and then we'll get back to our coverage, okay? When we don't have tornado warnings, we can do fun stuff like that. So if that sounds fun, make sure you guys are ready for that. We're going to start here in just a minute. Let's see here. Hey, thank you so much for that, Cumbria, Big 49.99. Thanks for all you're doing. Love your weather reports. Stay safe, storm chasers. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. We are making sure they stay safe out there. We're making sure that we also have, trained storm chasers out there. I know there's a lot of people who want to do the storm chasing thing, and then they're like, hey, man, I've got a Jeep and I've got a camera. Let me throw you a live stream. And as fun as and as awesome as that would be, I don't want you guys out there on the roads, okay? Unless you already are a storm chaser, unless that's already what you do for a living. Let's not. I'm not going to be responsible for having like 10,000 people out there, on the roads just filming the everything with their phones. We don't want that to happen. We're going to leave it to Vince and Mike and Brandon and Brett today, okay? We're going to leave it to them. That's the plan. That's the plan, man. All right, here we go. So it has officially been an hour. It's been an hour since we started, and when you hear that beeping, that means it's time for a forecast breakdown. Thank you guys for tuning in. This is what we're going to do. All right, I'm going to zoom out on the radar here, and we are going to do a forecast breakdown. Once again, if you are just now tuning in, what you need to do is tweet Break It Down Ryan, hashtag Break It Down Ryan with a unique picture on Twitter or Facebook, and our mods are going to pick one and send it to me, and we're going to do a personalized forecast just for you, just for your hometown. All right, you can clip it and put it on Facebook, and everybody in your area will get a kick out of it. Okay, so let's go over here to the radar and start looking at some other places. Over here in the Pacific Northwest, a lot of people often say, Ryan, why don't you ever talk about the Pacific Northwest? Okay, why don't you ever talk about it? And I mean, really, the deal is there's just not a lot going on. Okay, there's not a lot going on, especially not right now. It's 34 degrees in Seattle. It's 41 degrees in Portland. All the way down here in Los Angeles, it's 46 degrees, a little bit chillier than normal down there. 19 in Flagstaff, 34 in Albuquerque. How about you, Amarillo, where it's only 19 degrees right now, okay? Now, this is an area where we are expecting more snow and ice a little bit later. And then Omaha, how about you there with 10 degrees? And then, guys, look at this. Are you seeing this? Are you seeing? I know the numbers are tiny, but let me just read them for you. Fargo's negative 15. Grand Forks negative 18. Oh my goodness, I'm glad I ain't up there today. Way up here in southern Canada near Winnipeg, we're negative 22. That is not the wind chill. That's the real temperature right there, guys. In Detroit, it's 36. You guys are going to get snow soon. Toronto, Canada. How many Canadians we got watching in right now? We usually have quite a bit, but Toronto, you're at 37. Montreal, 32. That's going to continue to go down. Y'all are going to get some snow out of this as well. How about you there in Columbus with 43 and rain? Pittsburgh, 34. And then, of course, we all want to be in Miami. We all would rather be in Miami right now. We're at 73 degrees. How about you at Key West at 72? That is what it looks like right now across the United States. Now, let's look into the future a little bit, shall we? You guys want to look at that future radar? Of course you do. Of course you do. Everybody already knows what's happening right now. Let's look at the future radar and see what's down the road for us. Let's go over to the weather models. Once again, I'm going to zoom out here and look at the whole country. We're going to talk all day long about our big storm. Okay, so if you're in that, we're going to talk about you as we go forward. But some places that we kind of left out is like Florida. You guys are just going to be incredibly warm during this thing, okay? So like there's going to be a lot of warm, moist air. It's going to be humid. Same thing in southern Georgia and South Carolina. That's what you can expect down there. And then maybe a couple snow showers up there in the Pacific Northwest. But for the most part, everybody's really quiet here, guys. Everybody is really quiet during this thing, and we'll zoom in a little bit more on these snow showers and these during the next break. But for right now, hopefully, we've got somebody, a winner to our contest getting ready to be dropped in the live info stream, and we'll do that little personalized forecast for you down there, if that sounds good to you guys. All right, let's go back over here to the radar. Once again, all the way up here in Washington, D.C., it's 32 degrees. New York City, it's 34. Where you at, mods? Do we have a winner yet? Let's see here. Drop it in the live info stream there. I know that's fast. I know that's quick. But we do got to get this show on the road. Thank you guys once again. I know we're getting a ton of entries as well. Thank you guys once again for sending that in. All of the unique stuff. All right, here we go. Here we go. Here's our winner. Drum roll, please. Whitney, thank you so much for sending this in. Break it down, Ryan, for Winamac, Indiana. Winamac, Indiana. Thank you so much, Whitney, for sending this in. Cute little doggo there. We will go ahead and give you that forecast now. All right. And then we're going to get back into what we been doing here. Let me first figure out exactly where that is. All right. So that's going to be another interesting part of this, as I'm vastly improving my my geography skills here. Am I pronouncing that right? Winamac, Indiana. All right. Let's go. Winamac, Indiana. All right, let's look at exactly where that is. Okay, so that's in, it's a little bit to the south and east of Chicago. It's a little bit north and west of Indianapolis, but this right here is where it is, okay? If you live down here, let's go ahead and clip this, all right? Share it on Facebook. Let everybody know what the forecast is here in Winamac, Indiana. Once again, this is the place that we're talking about. We're going to zoom in on it over here on the radar and see what's going on right now, and then we'll look at the forecast models just for you. Just for you, okay? Right now, you're in a little bit of a snow hole, okay? Or at least you were a couple minutes ago. Okay, you were in a snow hole, and now it's starting to fill back in. You might notice there in Winamac, Indiana, that the snow's starting to pick back up. You also might see some of those, winds starting to pick back up as well there in the Monroe Township, Pulaski County. This is a place that has a population of 2,500. 500, okay? And it's the county seat of Pulaski County there in Indiana. So let's get all 2,000 of you completely up to date on the weather. All right, and we're also going to zoom in on Indiana here on the weather models. Let's go. Oops, there we go. So once again, our Winnemac is, man, I'm going to get this kind of wrong, but it's somewhere right in here, okay? So keep an eye on you there, and let's put this bad boy into motion. As we get into around noon today, it's actually going to be snowing quite a bit heavier than it is right now, so you're going to start picking up quite a bit more snow there in northwestern Indiana. But what's going to happen is it's going to stop snowing, okay, or it's going to get significantly lighter around 5 p.m., okay? And you're going to think, man, is it really already over? And then the answer to that question is no, because round 2 starts moving in around 5 a.m. tomorrow morning, and then you guys are all snow, okay? You guys are all snow as this thing continues to slide over you from, once again, now all the way through, I would say probably about 7 p.m. Tomorrow. That's when it's going to be finally over for you, and it's going to be cold back there as well. It's going to be extremely cold, as the temperatures are going to be down in the single digits and possibly approaching 0 early in the morning on Friday. So make sure you're ready for that. No ice expected for you, nothing like that. We're just looking at good old-fashioned snow, more than likely around 8 inches to a foot. So thank you so much for sending that in, and that was fun. That was real fun. So let's we're going to do that once an hour again, guys. Thank you so much for staying tuned during that. How many of you liked that? Was that cool? We'll do a different location next hour. And remember, it's going to get more competitive. The pictures have to get more and more creative, and the best one's going to win each hour. Okay, it looks like professional storm chaser Vince Waelti is on the road. On the road again. He is, I think he's got at least 14 or not 14, but 100,000 miles under his belt over the past year. And, yeah, let's get an update from him right now. Oops. Let's get an update from him as we zoom in on his stream there. All righty, Vince. Looks like you're heading down the road. What's your plan for today, man? Give us the latest. What do you think's going on? Where are you going? Where are you going after that? Just give us the whole spiel. We're also going to pull him up on the map here.
Good morning, everybody. I will be in the area where the snow is actually beginning to cause a problem per the Illinois DOT road maps in about 45 minutes. I'm going to be heading south on the interstate out of Rockford. I'll head down probably toward maybe the Champaign or the Danville area. We'll end up probably tracking this a little bit into western Indiana as the day goes on and kind of keep up with it. And then get in position either for round 2 tomorrow in southern Illinois or potentially the severe weather down south, as that's yet to be determined.
So Vince might actually be making the trek. so Vince is obviously, he's going to be in the snow today, right? And then he might actually make the trek all the way down to Louisiana so that he can cover the severe weather tomorrow. That's what I call a dedicated storm chaser, a professionally dedicated storm chaser. If I've ever seen one in my life, he is it. So everybody make sure you follow. If you like storm chasers, if you like keeping up with that kind of stuff, make sure you follow storm chaser Vince Waelti over there and on Twitter, on YouTube, and everywhere else, because a lot of these guys, man, it's the way they do it. It's the way they make a living. They got to have a following. They got to be able to post videos and get views and all that stuff. So we want to support them in every way that we possibly can. And yeah, he's heading down Highway 69 right now. He's gonna, more than likely, he's gonna go down to Freeport, and then continue to go south from there towards, let's see here, I don't know, honestly, probably Dixon, and then he'll make up his mind from there. So we're going to keep up with professional storm chaser Vince Waelti and Mike Scantlin as we go forward. Now, it looks like we might have lost connection with Mike. Is Mike's stream completely down, or has he started a new one, or what? It's frozen on my end. Let's see here. Is Indianapolis still nowcast unpredictable? No, Indianapolis is looking a little bit better now for snow, right? Indianapolis is looking a little bit better now for snow. Let me explain to you what I'm talking about there for Indianapolis. If we come over here to the Indianapolis radar, this is our high definition
It's frozen
radar.
on my end too, and there's not a new one up yet.
Okay. Thank you, Frank. We'll work with them to get another one there. So if we come over here to Indianapolis, you're looking out the window right now, and if you're a snow lover, if you're a fan of snow, you're sad. Okay, you're sad. You're looking at it, and you're like, what's going on? Because it's raining, right? So the thing is this first punch of snow is going to really, it's the most of it's going to miss you, okay? And you're going to get all rain for this. This is why you're not one of the places that's expecting close to 2 feet of snow. However, that second punch is going to slice right through you and absolutely nail the downtown Indianapolis area. So now we're a little bit more confident that you will see at least 6 inches of snow. All right. There's still a very slight chance, shot in the dark there, that you see a little bit more than that, maybe 12 inches, 6 to 12. But I'm saying 6 as my official, that's my final answer there. But once again, I think that there's a good chance that you might see a little bit more than that. Hey, Kathy says, thanks for all you do, Ryan, from Lexington, Kentucky. Thanks for all you do. Every single one of you guys watching right now. Mabel, thank you for becoming a member. Cumbria, once again, thanks for that big time 50 bomb there. You guys are incredibly generous with your contributions today. We see that that snow and that rain starting to build up back here in Texas. Okay, this is what's eventually going to become our ice storm, or our first punch of wintry weather there in Dallas and Sherman, all the way up into Fort Smith and Fayetteville and Arkansas. We're going to nowcast this pretty hard as we go forward to see how much moisture we get here, because one of the things that the models are a little iffy on is the amount of moisture that comes in, all right, and the amount of cold air. So Dallas, we're currently thinking that we're going to see some ice accumulation. That's going to be the main focus down there in Dallas, but that could change as we go forward, as we start to look at this moisture buildup. Is there a lot more here than what we thought? If so, then we could see more ice and snow. Is there more cold air? Is this switching over faster than what we thought on the backside? We might see more snow. So that's something that we're going to check in on periodically. It's currently 48 degrees in Dallas, and the temperature
Mike's
is dropping.
stream might be back up.
Mike's stream might be back up. So let's come over here. There we go. Yep, we got professional storm chaser Mike Scantlin back with us, and he is in Tulsa, literally in downtown Tulsa, just off I-244 there. So he's going to be in a pretty good place this evening or later on to kind of show us some of the snow and ice that's going on in Oklahoma. Come back over here to the radar, look at everything that's going on. We'll give you a broad view. Turn those temperatures off for now. This is a big system, guys. Once again, if you saw on our Radar Omega app, this covers a lot of people, from Austin, Texas to Dallas to Oklahoma City, Wichita, St. Louis, Memphis, Indianapolis, Chicago, Detroit, Cleveland, Pittsburgh, Syracuse, Toronto, all the way up into Boston, Bangor, Quebec, and Caribou. Like, nobody's getting away with not being touched by this thing. Even if you don't get a big snowstorm out of this, your weather will be affected in some way by this giant storm. So, yeah. Allie, thanks for becoming a moderate risker. Aqua, thank you for becoming a slight risker. Let's see here. Robin Baker, did the forecast change for Fort Wayne, or is it still 21 inches? So, Robin, the forecast for Fort Wayne, it's still possible that the snow totals reach 21 inches up there, but the range is more like 18 to 24, right? Or maybe even 15 to 22, something in there, okay? So it's possible that you get less than 21. It's possible that you get a little bit more than 21. You guys know, you've seen that before. You've seen the ranges, but 21 is definitely within the range of possibility there in Fort Wayne, Indiana. We have 20 to 50 mile an hour winds in Nevada. Yeah, so the winds, that's another thing that we really need to talk about. If you're preparing for an ice storm here, let me show you some of the information that you need to know about an ice storm. I've got an image here that I can kind of depict some of the different probable like outcomes of what can happen. I'm going to open that in a new tab, and I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Can you guys see this? Oops. Yeah, can you see this? Looks like it's pretty visible there. So here's the reason why we are concerned about ice today. All right. If you don't understand why we're freaking out about ice, here's why we are concerned. This chart shows you the potential impacts from different amounts of ice depending on what the wind speeds are. So we're going to stick with 25 to 35 today, because that's what we're expecting. In a lot of the places that are expecting ice accumulations, we could see 25 to 35 mile per hour wind gusts. So if you get even just a tenth of an inch of ice to a quarter of an inch of ice, and you receive higher than a 35 mile an hour wind gust, this could be the level 3 tier here, which obviously that's, we're hoping that doesn't happen. But if you get the 25 to 35 wind gust, which is what we are expecting, and you get between a quarter of an inch and a half an inch of ice, which is a lot of you guys under the ice storm warning, numerous utility interruptions with some damage to main feeder lines and equipment expected. Tree limb damage is excessive. Outages can last 1 to 5 days. 1 to 5 days. That'll be the vast majority of the impacts that we see from this storm. Okay? Obviously, it is possible that some of us see 3/4 of an inch of ice or higher. It is possible. And with that, this will be isolated. Not everybody, I'm not talking about everybody that's getting an ice storm today. Not everybody's going to see this. But isolated impacts that include prolonged and widespread utility interruptions with extensive damage to main distribution feeder lines and some high voltage transmission lines and structures as possible. Outages lasting from 5 to 10 days. This is the worst case scenario. Okay. However, if you end up with 3/4 of an inch of ice and you get a 25 to 35 mile an hour wind gust coming through there, the damage is it's quite literally going to be close to catastrophic. Okay, so we're hoping for the best here. Our forecast, meteorology is not an exact science, so our forecast models, even though that they can show some pretty scary stuff sometimes, a lot of times they're wrong. Okay, and especially in a finicky situation like trying to predict freezing rain and ice, a lot of times they are wrong. So we've got to keep a very close eye on this. If we start to see reports coming in of a 1/4 of an inch of ice or half an inch of ice, and we're not even done yet, and we're not done with the storm yet, that's when we got to start worrying about this stuff. But the vast majority of us will see this. Okay, so if you only get let's say you get a 1/10 of an inch to a 1/4 of an inch of ice, which would be a lot of you guys in Texas, scattered utility interruptions are expected. Typically lasting 12 to 24 hours. Roads and travel conditions may be extremely hazardous due to the ice accumulation. That's going to be like the majority of everybody that sees the lighter accumulations. That's the most of what we're expecting there. And then, of course, if you get less than that, some isolated or localized utility interruptions may be possible. Typically lasting only a few hours, roads and bridges may become slick and hazardous. So keep this in mind, and let's take a look at some of those ice accumulation forecasts. Let's zoom out here to the whole United States, and we'll look at the official National Weather Service forecast, which is going to be kind of like the lower end of what could actually happen. But then we'll get an update on some of the higher end totals, just so we're prepared for the worst. So everybody that's in the pink here, according to the National Weather Service, let's go back one so we can go a little bit further into the future. Everybody in the pink has the potential to see at least a glaze of ice. So I don't want you to get really concerned if you're down here in South Central Texas. You're not going to see an ice storm, okay? You just have the potential to see a glaze of ice. Same thing for you down here in East Tennessee, okay? You're going to get a glaze of ice. Extreme Eastern Kentucky. We're not talking about anything scary here. In the mountains of West Virginia, not talking about anything scary. The closer into the central portion of that pink zone you are, though, and especially in Tennessee, Arkansas, and Kentucky along the Ohio River area towards Lexington, we could see anywhere from a 1/4 of an inch of ice to 3/4 of an inch of ice. So these are the areas where you can expect, once again, widespread power outages more than likely, with isolated incidents of power outages that last longer than just a couple of days. Okay, so none of us want to be without power for more than a day. None of us want to be without power for any time at all, but it becomes a real problem when you surpass 24 hours. If the freezing rain occurs, if that actually happens, if you're in the dark pink here, that's what you are looking at for your potential impacts. Now, once again, this is kind of a conservative forecast. Some of the models are showing more than this, and they're also showing it displaced a little bit further east. What about that GFS model? GFS says, oh, man, you're not only going to get 3/4 of an inch of ice. Some of you might get 1.5 inches. I don't even want to think about that. We're not even going to talk about that. If you're prepared for 3/4 of an inch of ice, that's what we need to worry about, okay? Like, we don't want to send everybody into a hysteria here. And one of the reasons why I'm not kind of thinking that this is actually going to be the reality, 1.5 inches of ice, is because a lot of the precipitation that's going to fall it's going to fall as heavy rain. Okay, so imagine you're trying to get ice to build up on something, right? Let's say it's 30 degrees outside and you've got a tree. All right, it's not raining, but you want to decorate that tree. You want to get as much ice hanging off that tree as possible. How are you going to do it? Are you going to get a fire hose and just sit there and blast the tree? Eventually that will work, okay? Don't get me wrong. Eventually that will lead to a lot of ice. But the quicker way to getting it done is to mist it, okay? Put some lighter water on it. Let that water kind of stick to the branches and stuff without immediately flowing off. You know, moving water is harder to freeze than standing still water. So if you mist it, if you lightly glaze the tree, the ice is going to build up more efficiently. So today and tomorrow, some of the rain that we're going to be getting in some of these areas that are expecting the most ice is going to be really heavy. So I think that will limit the ice accumulations a little bit. Now, don't get me wrong. Imagine the fire hose situation. That's still eventually going to lead to a lot of ice. But it takes more time, and it'll take a longer duration for that to actually happen. Okay? So hopefully the rain is extremely heavy in western Tennessee and western Kentucky. However, that doesn't mean you're out of the woods. It just doesn't mean, it means that we likely won't see 1.5 inches of ice. Now, what about the Euro? What the Euro is saying? Whew, my goodness. The Euro is also showing 1/2 inch of ice for a lot of people there in the darker pink areas. That includes areas in southern Ohio, northeastern Kentucky, central Kentucky, western Kentucky, a lot of Arkansas, southeastern Oklahoma, northeastern Texas. Now, this is a very good placement map. I believe these will be some of the heaviest impacted areas. But once again, I'm not buying the 1.5 inches of ice accumulation. I think 3/4 of an inch of ice is kind of what we're looking at here. Now, what about some of our convective allowing models? NAM 3 kilometer still shows 1 inch. Maybe some people getting 1 inch and 3/4 of an inch of ice. What about the HRRR? Let's look at the HRRR. High resolution, rapid refresh. And of course, it has the maximum there with some people getting maybe over 2 inches of ice. So all of our guidance from the models are showing a more significant storm than what is forecasted. Okay, so the reason I'm showing you this is because you're going to see this stuff on Facebook. You're going to see this stuff on, people are going to freak out about this stuff because, I mean, honestly, 2 inches of ice is 100% something to freak out about. That would literally be catastrophic. However, just know that the reason why I and the National Weather Service, the reason we're not forecasting this much ice is because there's a lot more factors that go into this than just what the model knows. This is why it's important that we have meteorologists. Some people argue that, well, since we have these forecast models and these automatic computer forecasts, why do we even need the meteorologists? This is why. Okay, you need to be able to inspect the data and understand what's wrong with it. Now, don't get me wrong. Because the model shows this, it does mean that it is possible. It is possible. However, it's at the upper echelon of the possibilities. We like to talk about averages. That way you're prepared for everything that can happen. And just in case the lower end of the average happens, you're not over prepared and you don't come marching down the street with pitchforks after your weatherman. Because we don't want to see that either. Don't blame your weatherman guys. If he gets this one wrong, this was a tough one, especially in the ice zone. Hey, Linda, thank you for the super chat. Big time support there from Linda. Patrick, thank you. Lynn Holloway just became a high-risk member. That's super awesome. And Kansas Rockhounder became a slight risker. Thank you all so much. So hopefully, was that a good job? Did that really help you guys out with understanding the ice impacts and the reason why it can be significant and the numbers to look for what can be significant? I know that looking at the maps and seeing 0.25 to 0.50, it's like those numbers seem so insignificant, but hopefully that helped you out a little bit with understanding why it's such a big deal. Imagine a 40-foot section of power line. Look at Vince's stream here. And you see these power lines that he's driving next to? That's actually much more than 40 feet between them. But imagine each one of those lines caked in an inch of ice. The hundreds and hundreds of pounds of weight that would add and stress that would add to the lines is really, it's indescribable. And then you throw the wind gust on top of that. And those things are coming down, and it's going to take a while to put them back up. That's why we are concerned about the ice. We're hoping for the best, though. We are hoping for the best, and that's why we're doing this live stream as well, so we can nowcast. We can keep an eye on everything that's happening right now. Like, for example, here in Indianapolis, it's raining. Okay, Cincinnati right now, it's raining. A lot of eastern Kentucky and a lot of Tennessee is seeing rain. All the way up here into Toledo, Ohio, it's still raining. However, it's snowing pretty hard there in Lafayette. Hey, Fort Wayne, Indiana, you have been rain, and now you're switching over to snow. So if you are in Fort Wayne, send me those pictures. I want to get, this is why it's important that we have those reports coming in. I want to see the ground truth. Is the radar lying to me? Is it actually snowing now in Fort Wayne? Let's see those pictures and videos come in to the Twitter at Ryan Hall, y'all on Twitter. And also, you can do the Facebook as well. You can do Facebook as well. We've got somebody watching the Facebook, and we are going to show those periodically if you want to do it that way. I know some of you don't have Twitter. But anyways, it's getting ready to switch over there in Fort Wayne if it hasn't already. Big time heavy snow. Okay, heavy snow is really impacting Interstate 70 now between Highland, Vandalia, Effingham, all the way up into Casey. Okay, so north and east of St. Louis, we're talking about extremely heavy snow here. I'm almost certain that road is pretty treacherous right now. I'd stay off I-70. I'd stay off I-57 between Champaign and Effingham, too, between Scola and Charleston and Effingham once again. That's some heavy snow getting ready to cover the roads. Make sure you are prepared for this, guys. You might think over here in Danville, it's over, man. It's quit snowing. It was snowing good earlier, but now there's nothing. There's a big old bowl of nothing out here. Well, here in about 5 minutes, that's going to change for you. I promise. Some heavy snow, probably heavier than what you've seen earlier, is getting ready to move through the Danville area between Champaign and Indianapolis there on I-74. How about you down here in Missouri? You saw some pretty heavy snow earlier, but it's kind of died down a little bit now. This is not filling in as fast as I thought it would, but I think it is going to continue to amplify. We're going to see more snow come out of this. Let's look at our camera. We got a live camera down there in Columbia, Missouri. Shout out to Kyle for this. Looks like, I don't know, Kyle, if you could send me an official report of how many inches of snow you have there, that'd be nice. It looks like there's certainly a decent amount, and we got our neighbors out walking the dog. Say hi to them for me. Yeah, this is a live view down there in Columbia, Missouri. It looks like the snow's still coming down decently right now as well. So, this radar doesn't do the best at depicting where the heaviest snow is. That's why sometimes we switch over to our high-def radar. And, of course, we're continuing to watch this. This is the second punch coming together here from Amarillo down to Abilene. We're going to watch this closely as we go forward because this is going to determine how much snow you guys end up with in the end. Hey, super huge shout out to Alan. He says, hey, Ryan, is it okay to eat the yellow snow? Absolutely not, man. I can't believe you got to have me tell you that. Of course it's not okay. Hey, Christine. Oh, my goodness. Everybody say thank you to Christine, who just upgraded their membership to an official sponsor. That's big. That's a big move. Thank you so much. If it wasn't for people like Christine, I couldn't do this. I couldn't dedicate 20 hours of the next 48 to this live stream. But thanks to Christine, I can. Thank you guys so much. And Feral Dragon, It says, when the ice starts to melt, the tree branches start popping back up and can snap the power lines too. Yeah, there's a lot of problems that happens with the ice. We are not looking forward to the ice here. I'm hoping that the ice is over dramatic. Like, hopefully the model data is over dramatic with the ice, and we all just end up getting snow, and we start looking at really pretty pictures of snow. That's what I like. Here's a good picture from Dale in St. Louis. Here's an example of an ice storm. This is the Maine ice storm of 1998. These ice storms are seriously destructive. We had no electricity for 14 days. Yeah, so that if you've never seen the impacts of an ice storm before, this is a very good visual representation of why it's not good. It's not snow. It's not sleet. I think some people, when you say ice storm, they're like, "Oh, are you talking about those little Dippin' Dots that fall from the sky?" I've seen that before, or hail. Like, that's no big deal. No, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about literally rain. It's raining. It's just raining, but it's 27 degrees outside. What happens to that rain? Freezes on impact. Freezes on impact, and this is what you get. So, Dale, thanks for sending that in. We got 5 inches there in Hebron, Indiana so far. Hebron, I think, is the correct way to say that. Thanks for sending that report in. Once again, that's 5 inches of snow already. Here we go. Here's a good entry for our Break It Down thing that'll be coming up in 35 minutes, by the way. Hot Springs, Arkansas. It's once again, it's up to our moderators who gets picked for that. I'm going to be completely out of the picture. Okay, so Pete, this is great. This is great. This is why we love to have you guys watching and sending in your reports and videos. Pete says, here's a video from Fort Wayne, Indiana. Watching right now. Great broadcast. It's just rain right now. So let's inspect that. Let's really get down into what's going on here. Of course, our big fancy colorful radar here shows that we're switching over to all snow in Fort Wayne. But what does our high definition radar show? Let's pick the best radar location. And of course, once again, this is beautiful watching this happen in action here. This is the one we need to be paying most attention to actually depicting where the snow is falling and where the rain is falling today, because we are still seeing that the green indicates rain in Fort Wayne. Now, the pinks and the oranges that you'll see pop up later throughout the day, this is freezing rain or a mix, possibly some sleet, snow, and freezing rain. South Bend, though, you're all snow for sure. All snow for sure. The blue indicates areas that are currently receiving all snow from our current snowstorm. So thank you so much for sending that in, guys. This is really, really cool that you guys are so interactive and sharing your pictures and videos with us. I'm going to continue to look through here. And I'm going to continue to show some of your reports. Here it is. It's definitely snowing in Lafayette, Indiana. No question about that. Hey, thank you, Matt Martin, for sending that in. That is certainly some heavy snow. All right, let's take a look at some Facebook pictures, too. I know we got a lot of those coming in. Man, for some reason, I'm having a hard time pulling these up full screen. And they're kind of low quality. I don't know if there's something we can do, if there's a different way we can download them. But here is a picture from East Peoria, Illinois, from Amber G. Thank you so much for sending that in. A lot of snow over there in Peoria already. This one is from who's this from? Brian D. from Kalamazoo, Michigan. Thank you, Brian D., for sending that in all the way over there in Michigan. And we have one of our weather analysts in the Discord server. He has sent us a bunch of pictures. He is also in Peoria, Illinois, and check this out, guys. We've got drifts of snow here, around 28 inches. Now, obviously, they don't have 28 inches of snow on the ground, but drifting snow is around 28 inches. So thank you so much, Andrew, for sending that in. I think his actual total is closer to 8 or 9 inches. So we are seeing drifting snow from this. We are seeing drifting snow, drifting and blowing snow, intermittent blizzard conditions out here. So thank you guys for sending in your stuff on Facebook. It is just easier on Twitter, but that's all right. That's all right. Oh, all right. So I'm going to have to restart Radar Omega here. We got some updates coming through. And one of the cool things about Radar Omega is the cyclone port. So if I take away these warnings here,
I'll be 10-8 from this.
if I take away the warnings in the satellite, let's look at the radar, for example.
On this event.
Let's look at the whole. We can look at actually like the whole U.S. as one with the MRMS radar, and then I can also turn on Cyclone Port. And this is a really cool thing where anybody that has this app, I don't care where you are, anybody that has this app, you can get on your phone and check out some of these live cameras. So we do have one down here in Kansas, Burlington, Kansas. Look at this; it's 16.5 degrees there. And the snow's coming down good. We got a good view of this. This camera system really helped us out in tornado season. This is really interesting to see, because you can get a really good view of storms in comparison to where they are on the radar just by going back and forth between these two things on this app. Additionally, we're going to have some cameras down here in southeastern Missouri where we might have a problem with ice later. So this is Advanced Missouri. Do we have any people down here that recognize this area that are watching? We'll be checking in on that camera pretty often. And then we've even got good old John up here in Michigan with a live stream of some very heavy snow right now. And of course, we're going to be checking in with a lot of these very often as we go through the day. But I just wanted to show you this because I know a lot of you guys are going to think this is cool. The cyclone port thing is very cool. And of course, this is going to continue to expand to where we'll have more and more angles out there. Now, we do have professional storm chaser Vince Waelti on the road right now. He's in Illinois now. Let's go over to our map view. Vince Waelti is, where is Vince Waelti? He is on Highway 20 heading east. Looks like to me heading east towards Rockford, Illinois. So roads are still looking okay there where Vince is right now. But looks like to me they're going to get a little bit less okay as he heads on down to the south and to the east. This is a current view of the radar near Rockford. Some of the heaviest snow is off to his south and east, but another stronger band of snow is coming in after that. Remember, as we look at our high-def radar today, this side over here shows us the pretty colors, right? This shows us where the snow is falling. This shows us where the rain is falling. This side over here shows us the intense plow. Our plow guys. What am I talking about? Hey, Linda, thank you so much for being a slight risker. Josh, thanks for upgrading to a high-risk member. That's super awesome. Jennifer sent the big tenner in, big $10 super chat there. You guys don't have to do this. You don't have to do this, but I do appreciate it, and so does Vince and all of our other storm chasers. Maddie, slight risk member. Eddie, Vince's going to have steak dinner tonight on Eddie. Thank you so much, guys. All right, let's go back over here to our pretty looking radar and get a broad view of everything that's going on. Once again, this is the latest sweep of our nationwide radar here. Heavy rain still moving through central Kentucky and central Tennessee. This will lead to isolated flooding problems. Absolutely unfortunate there in the Lexington region that we might see flooding and then an ice storm on top of that. Imagine that, guys. Oh my goodness. And then of course we're all snow back here from Kansas City to Springfield to St. Louis to Peoria, Champaign, Fort Wayne here very soon, and then all the way up into Detroit. This is going to continue to slide off to the north and east, and eventually we are going to get a break, and we're going to wait for punch number 2. Punch number 2 is going to load up here before too long, and that's where we're going to see the next big area of snow start to move up to the north and east. So remember, this is going to affect you more than just today up there in Illinois and Indiana. Here's a broad view of everything. Carly says, okay, so yeah, that's fine. The Facebook pictures look fine. We'll deal with the low quality. I just want to make sure we can get all of the ground truth as we possibly can. So we'll keep doing it that way. We'll figure it out before the next one for sure. Snowfall. Okay, so David says snowfall has begun on the north side of Fort Wayne, Indiana. Can we get more confirmation on that? Snow has officially begun on the north side of Fort Wayne, Indiana. Let's see here. We got just about 4 inches now in Jefferson City. Hey, Zay, thank you so much for sending that in. Stuff is piling up out there. Let's see here. I just switched over to snow in Ferdinand, Michigan, on the northern border of Detroit. Okay, so a lot of Michigan has already seen quite a bit of snow, but we are just now switching over to snow there near Detroit. So Hillbilly, thank you so much for sending that in. Another very vital reason to be looking at these reports as they come in. Here is Gatlin or Gelatin. Oh boy, you guys are going to get on to me for this one. I don't know how to. Is that Gallatin or Gelatin? Missouri. Hey, Focus, thank you so much for sending that picture in there. It looks like you got a nice little skiff of snow down. Oh, I like this. Somebody is screenshotting here, and they've noticed that we've got a little bit of a Nike swoosh. Just do it. Thank you, Gettysburg. That's funny. It is now snowing. Okay, so we're seeing a lot of places start to switch over from rain to snow. It is now snowing in Dearborn, Michigan. Thank you for sending that in. Looks like it's coming down pretty good there, too. South Whitley, Indiana, it's also snowing. Here's a look at Elkhart, Indiana, where it looks like the snow is kind of maybe slowed down a little bit. Oops, where did that go? There we go. Sorry. But a lot of accumulation out there. I love the way the snow looks when it piles up on the trees like that. That tells me that you're also in an area that isn't experiencing much wind right now. So that's good. Okay, we want to see the wind gusts remain minimal in every aspect of this storm, because even where you don't get ice, you could get heavy wet snow that builds up on the trees and power lines like that and causes problems with power outages as well. So
you're not a dish.
Ooh. Ads. We do have somebody else that sent us a live stream that we will show here intermittently. Guys, thank you so much for all the reports. It's kind of overwhelming. I don't get to show all of them, but we try to show most of them. Here is from Sherry. Here's Springfield, Illinois. We had thunder snow at 4 a.m. No way. Now, you can't tell me that and not give me some sort of proof. I want everybody that has a Nest doorbell camera, that has security cameras, I want you to investigate that for me in Springfield, Illinois. Did we have thunder snow at 4 a.m.? First one that gives me verified proof that we have thunder snow, or sends me a new video of thunder snow from today's system, I'm ordering pizza and having it delivered to your house. I'm not kidding. You guys think I'm joking, but I'm not. But anyways, we got an unofficial report from Sherry here that we've had thunder snow around 4 a.m. there in Springfield, Illinois. And look at this. It's still coming down really good. Got some of that blowing snow, some of that drifting snow, and it's just absolutely coming down there in Illinois. Thank you for that. Thank you for sending that in, guys. Oops. Let's get an update on Vince, man. He's trucking it down there towards Rockford. Rockford, Illinois. If you want a broad view of where our chasers are, Mike Scantlin, oops, there we go. Mike Scantlin's in the Tulsa region, and Vince Waelti's is in northern Illinois. He's going to keep dipping south, I believe, to try to intercept some of that heavier snow that's going to be happening later today. So we appreciate him for being out there in the middle of it. That way you guys don't have to curl up with a blanket and just watch Vince drive in the snow, man. You don't have to do it. Hey, Mike, thank you so much for that, man. He says, nice channel. Great channel. My bad. Missy says, can you do a forecast update for the Memphis area? Absolutely. Absolutely. We're going to go back and kind of circle back and talk about the snow and ice forecast for the future. Right here in a minute. Like, it's not going to be very long before we do that. I promise. Trying to make sure you guys have the best views here. All right. So, Mirestone Ranch says, I'm bummed that the projections for southern Michigan went from 16 to only about 8 inches. Stay safe out there. It depends on where you are in southern Michigan. I know that some extreme southern Michigan is still definitely going to see a foot of snow. It's not changed that much. Things have shifted southeast. We talked about that possibility. But, if you're in extreme southern Michigan, I don't think it's changed that much at all. Hey, Mike Dean, thank you for becoming a high-risk member. Big time. Big time support. Love it. VM says, is Mike Scantlin on Twitter? He is in my neck of the woods. Yeah, Mike Scantlin is on Twitter. He's the Scant Man, at the Scant Man.
Did you say it was a tractor trailer?
Let's see here. It's 38 degrees and partly sunny in Rochester, New York, with a 12-inch snowpack left from January 17th. Look at this, guys. So they're going to get some snow on top of the snow if it don't melt beforehand. But yeah, still about 12 inches of snow there on the ground from the snow on January 17th. That's old snow. That's some old snow right there. Hey, David Hoffman, thanks for becoming a member. High riskers. We got a lot of new high riskers today, and extreme riskers, and moderate riskers, and all the big riskers. Hopefully our mods are still keeping up with our hashtag Break It Down, Ryan, because I'm seeing a lot of good entries here. Hey, thank you so much, guys. Thanks for sending in all the reports and pictures. Here's Nick Gorman. Here's one of our storm chasers. I didn't know he was out today. Current snowfall in Girard, Illinois as of 9:15 a.m. Thanks for sending that in, man. That's super awesome. Very good video, and you get a really good idea of exactly how much snow we're looking at here from this. Also, we got a picture in from Jessica in Plainfield, Illinois. We love the doggo pictures. We love them. Thank you for sending that in, guys. All right, let's do another broad overview of everything that we're talking about. Let's look at those watches and warnings, and then we'll go through the future cast on the latest information from the models as well. Give me just a second to set that up, though. I am going to continue to talk more about how much more snow you can expect into the future. I'm going to talk about how much ice you can expect, and we're also going to touch on that severe weather threat and flooding threat a little bit further to the south as well. We're going to hit all of it here. So make sure you hit that like button, share this, copy the link to this stream, post it on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Send it in a text message to a family member or friend so this vital information can reach people that, a lot of people don't watch the news, man. They don't watch it. Or maybe they don't even have access to it. Maybe they'd just rather watch YouTube. So make sure you share this with everybody. The more the merrier here. Ooh, even over there in Cascade, Colorado, we're piling up with the snow. Check it out. This is from Colorado Storm Chasers. Big time snow there, nearing 12 inches of new snow. Thanks for sending that in. So this is a widespread storm, guys. We've been talking a lot about Illinois and Indiana and all these places, but even Colorado and New Mexico are getting buried with snow with this thing. And of course, it's going to continue to go to the north and east. Michael Newton says, thanks for your informative uploads and live broadcasts. Southeast Missouri is not looking forward to the ice. Well, hopefully you guys get more snow. Shay Jones says, I'm contributing to the Lightning Snow Pizza. Absolutely. I can't wait to do that. It's going to be fun. Thank you guys for the support. C, thank you for the big 10. He says, thanks for keeping us all informed. It's no problem. I love doing this. It's not a job. Like, it's not like, obviously I do this full time now, but like, it's not like a hard work for me. I enjoy being here for 12 hours a day, just talking about the weather, vicariously living through you guys who see snow. I never get it here anymore, it seems like, in my part of the world. Oops. I need to fill up my big water jug. April, thank you so much for becoming a high-risk member. Oh, I'm going a little crazy here trying to hydrate. All right, let's do that. Let's get a broad overview here on the Radar Omega app. First of all, let's turn our cyclone ports off, and let's go and turn our radar off. Let's go back to the satellite view, and we're going to turn our warnings back on because it's important that we keep track of this. We're going to see new warnings pop up all day long, and we got to keep up with the progression of them. Okay, so here we go. If you are in the pink, you're under a winter storm warning. That includes Dodge City, Wichita, Kansas, Oklahoma City, Tulsa, Oklahoma, Wichita Falls, Dallas, and Austin in Texas. It includes St. Louis, Pine Bluff, Jonesboro. It includes Cincinnati. It includes Moorhead, Kentucky, Columbus, Ohio, Fort Wayne, Chicago, Detroit, Cleveland, and Syracuse, all the way up into northern areas of Vermont. This is a very, very large winter storm warning. It's one of the largest I've ever seen. We saw something similar last year, but this is even crazier because not only do we have the big time winter storm threat, but we have an ice storm warning in the purple outlines there. That includes Louisville, Lexington, Richmond, Campbellsville, Elizabethtown, Owensboro, Madisonville, Paducah, Mayfield, Hopkinsville. All these places in Kentucky are under an ice storm warning. Please take that seriously. That is a dangerous situation unfolding down there. And then also in western Tennessee, we have an ice storm warning for Union City, Dresden, Paris, Dyersburg, Brownsville, Memphis. Even in northwestern portions of Mississippi, we talked about this possibility. We have a winter or an ice storm warning for Hernando down there in extreme northwestern Mississippi. And of course, this continues off to the north and east as the blue are under winter storm watches. Okay, Pittsburgh, you might get upgraded. Albany, same for you. Boston, all the way up into Bangor and Caribou, Maine. If models continue to trend in the way that shows you guys are going to get big snow or ice, you will eventually be under a winter storm warning. So let's look at that future cast. Let's look at that future radar. What's that going to look like? Okay, this is the NAM 3 kilometer coming to you straight from Weatherbell. Huge shout out to Weatherbell. I love those guys as well. There's a lot of people, a lot of companies that make this all possible. We love these graphics here. So if you want to keep up with the date and time, it's always going to be displayed down here. You see that? 10 a.m. That's Eastern time. Keep that in mind. That is Eastern time. That's because that's where I'm from. So let's put this into motion. Let's go to 2 p.m. Okay, 2 p.m. A lot of the snow is going to be moving out of Missouri. It's going to be moving out of Illinois. It's going to be even heavier than it is right now in Indiana and portions of southern Michigan and northwestern Ohio. A lot of northwestern Ohio is still seeing all rain here, though. Okay, now I'm kind of conflicted as to whether or not that's true. We've talked about how this NAM model is a little bit warm biased. So I think that Toledo will be all snow at this time, but the vast majority of Ohio will be seeing rain. And of course, we're going to see heavy rain from Mississippi, Alabama, into Tennessee, into Kentucky. And we do have a flash flood watch out for these areas. So make sure you are prepared for that if you're in a flood zone area. Now, if you are in Springfield, or if you're in St. Louis and the snow stops today around 2 p.m. and you're like, Lord goodness, son, did I buy all this milk and bread for nothing? Am I going to have to sit down and make me a milk sandwich? The answer to your question is no, okay? You didn't buy it for nothing because, first of all, a lot of you have already seen a good amount of snow. I think some of you are already overperforming a little bit. However, you're just getting a little bit of a break, okay? Punch number 2, the second system, is getting its act together and will really form tonight around 7 p.m. in Texas and Oklahoma. And we're going to see that ice and sleet and snow break out. Remember, the purple's the freezing rain, the pink is the sleet, and then the blue's the snow. That's going to start breaking out here, and then it's going to intensify and go back to the north and east. So it's going to start snowing again heavily around 3 a.m. on Thursday, where in some of the places that it stopped. This is also when some of the heaviest freezing rain is going to start falling in Arkansas, western Kentucky, southern Illinois, Indiana, into Ohio. Please pay attention to the radar during this time, because this is when it all starts. This is when the ice storm starts. Same thing down here in Dallas. Okay, we got a lot of sleet and freezing rain showing up on the radar. Hopefully it's all sleet. And then on the backside, we got more snow. Heavy snow in Tulsa. Heavy snow in Missouri, even. Okay, and then that's going to move all the way up into Illinois and Indiana once again. This second punch is going to be quite a bit further south and east than the first one. So Indianapolis, you're going to be in Snowtown, baby, on this one. All right. And then we're also going to see that heavy sleet and snow all the way down into Columbus. And then Cincinnati, Paducah, you're going to be sleet during this time. But the really concerning thing here is, well, two things. First of all, we're going to have a severe weather threat down here in Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama around the 4 p.m. time frame tomorrow. We might have a storm chaser down there just in case we have a tornado. But we do have that severe weather threat. I will be covering it. Additionally, heavy flooding will be occurring in probably a lot of central Tennessee during this time and central Kentucky. And then we're going to start to see that ice really start to move into central Kentucky. And it's going to slice through the same areas over and over again, leading to potentially devastating ice totals in western Tennessee and western and central Kentucky. Also, you can't forget about southern Ohio here. Some very heavy ice is expected for you guys as well. And then as we go into the future, we could see a continuation of this ice storm through Pennsylvania, into New York, possibly even into southern New England there. We're going to keep a very close eye on that. Wow. I mean, once again, it's kind of overwhelming doing these forecasts because there's a lot going on. It's hard to cover everybody because there's just so much going on at the same time. Let's look at those snow totals, all right? On top of what you already have right now, we're looking at 6 to 12 inches anywhere in the purples and the pinks, according to the NAM 3-kilometer model. All right. If we switch over to, let's say, the GFS, for example, it's still showing quite a bit more than that. Okay, but it also shows that first hit a little bit more. Let's go back over to the Euro. Okay, this is also showing anywhere in the purples or the pinks, 6 to 12 inches on top of what you already have right now. Let's look at that National Weather Service forecast. Okay, this is your official forecast. If you're in the light blue or the blue back in here, we're talking about 2 to 4 inches. Maybe 3 to 6, okay? If you're like on the higher end of things, 3 to 6. The grays and stuff down here in Texas and Arkansas, we're talking about an inch, a skiff or a scuff of snow. The big heavy axis of snow is going to be in the purples and the pinks here, where we're talking about 6 to 12 inches of snow with a bullseye of over a foot of snow from Champaign, Illinois through Fort Wayne up to Detroit. All right, Northwest Ohio, once again, purple to pink, 6 to 12. Upstate New York, purple to pink, 6 to 12. This is kind of what we're thinking right now. All right, now let's talk about that freezing rain. Very unfortunate freezing rain forecast from the National Weather Service. Anybody in the darker pink can expect over a quarter of an inch of ice. And this will lead to widespread power outages that could last for multiple days for some of you guys. And it will also lead to travel implications that are, the further south and west you go, the worse those are going to get. Even just a glaze of ice is going to cause big problems down here in central Tennessee or central Texas. Now, don't get me wrong. I know we got a lot of Texas people here, okay? How many people do we have from Texas watching right now? I want to see you in the chat. A lot of people are scared to death of winter weather down here, especially after what happened last year, and I don't blame you one bit. A lot of people like to make fun of you. I'm never going to be that person. But I've said this a million times already. I want to say it again. This is not going to be a repeat of last year. All right? This is not going to be that. The difference is this year we're talking about a potential ice storm. All right? And it's for a much smaller portion of the state. I'm only concerned about significant ice accumulation in the northeastern quadrant of the state. Okay, this does include Dallas. This does include Sherman, Denton. It includes the northeastern portions over here. And there is definitely the potential for some power outages, and some cold air is going to come in after it. But it's not going to be the whole state. It's not going to be as detrimental as last year. I promise you that. But I understand you want to be up to date. You want to be informed. You want to make sure that you're prepared for everything. And that's why you're here. And that's why I'm going to continue to update you on everything that's going on here. Okay, so I just want to make sure you don't buy into the hype. This is not a repeat of last year. It's going to be all right. We're going to get through this together. But still prepare for the worst. And the worst is potentially a half an inch of ice with some gusty winds there in northeastern Texas. Additionally, snow is possible back here too, which snow isn't as dangerous, but, it could cause some problems in Texas. Even 3 or 4 inches of snow is going to make travel a little difficult where you don't have as much of that salt and brine built up.
Was this a tractor trailer or did you have a vehicle description?
No, mine says
Oh boy, I am parched after talking for how long now? Lord goodness. Why does it say we've only been going for 22 minutes? Did the stream restart, guys? Did I lose connection and we reconnected? 2 hours is what we've actually been going for. How many of you guys have been here since the beginning? How many of you have been here since the beginning? I know a lot of you have. It does look like some of our watches and warnings are expanding. Once again, we're heading over to the Radar Omega app. If you want this app, it's a Radar app. You can get it through a link in the description. So once again, here in the purple, we're under winter storm warnings or ice storm warnings. I need a way to make the background just completely black. I need a way to see nothing as the background, because I know that's going to make you guys understand better what the colors look like. Okay. So once again, Louisville, Lexington are under ice storm warnings. We have an expansion now. New ice storm warnings are being issued for Madison, Indiana, Salem, Indiana. All right. Jasper, Indiana. Princeton and Evansville are under ice storm warnings now. So a little bit of an expansion there. And still Hopkinsville, Madisonville, Louisville, Lexington, all these places are under ice storm warnings as well. And then a little bit of an expansion down to the south and east here. We've got Paris, Humboldt, Memphis, and Forest City under ice storm warnings a little bit further south as well. These might expand even a little bit further to the north as the day goes on. No doubt in my mind about that. Was there a problem with the stream? I don't remember.
the truck that was stuck on Route 8 has been removed.
Okay, so let's go back to the map here. Give y'all a full overview of everything that's going on. We're going to switch back over to our high-def radar there around Chicago. Once again, we do have professional storm chasers Vince Waelti out there today and Mike Scantlin. Now, we've got more coming aboard. Obviously, we've got Mike in Oklahoma, so we're going to keep you guys updated on everything that's going on around the Tulsa region. We've got Vince Waelti, who's in Illinois, who's just literally going to be all up and down Illinois this evening. So everybody in Illinois, we're going to have eyes on the ground for you with Vince. And then later today, we've got Brett Adair, who should be coming on in a couple hours to give us a live view of what's going on down there in Texas. Okay, he's going to be in the Dallas area, and then he'll probably follow that up into Arkansas. And then even later than that, maybe we might have to wait till tomorrow for Brandon. But we got Brandon Copic in the Toledo, Ohio area, who will be going back and forth, I'm sure, between Ohio and Michigan, giving us eyes on the ground for what they're dealing with as far as snow goes in that region of the world. So once again, we got all kinds of views. We got all kinds of ways of keeping up with the weather here. Not only live radar and state-of-the-art weather models. We've got, our people on the ground here. So super huge shout out to Vince Waelti and Mike Scantlin, who are currently, on the road right now. Also, we got some very generous and nice viewers out there who are providing us with live cameras, just stationary live cameras pointing out their bedroom window or whatever it is. Of their yards out here. And this one's in Columbia, Missouri. Thank you so much for sending that in. And then we got another really cool one here from Kyle in St. Louis. Okay, so we can keep up with that one on the website. This is a YouTube stream. So yeah, thank you so much, Kyle, for hooking us up with this very awesome view of St. Louis. We've got every single corner of America locked down because not only that, not only do we have Vince, not only do we have Mike, not only do we have our live streams, but we have y'all. We have y'all on every single aspect of this storm from every single corner of America. All 14,000 of you are sending in pictures and videos through Twitter at Ryan Hall, y'all. Like this one. Not sure how many inches my weather app says, 7.2 inches south of the suburbs of Chicago. So we've got tons of pictures and videos coming in on Twitter, guys. If you want to send me one, at Ryan Hall, y'all, you can do that right now. Looks like the state, what is this? The State Guard is helping out. Thanks for this video. What is that? The State or the National Guard going down the road there? I don't know where you're located. But I would say that you'll see a lot of utility vehicles out and about, especially if you're in Western Kentucky and Western Tennessee. You're going to see a lot of these guys driving down. And then, of course, we might actually see some guard out there helping out, as we do expect potentially some very, very damaging impacts from this ice storm along the Ohio River and into the mid-Mississippi Valley there. Oh, do you hear that? Do you hear that sound? How many people do we have still watching that know what that sound is? It means that it's time for a forecast breakdown. All right, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Every hour on the hour, we take a little break and we zoom out a little bit, okay? Yeah, we're talking about Indiana, Illinois all day. Let's talk about some other places briefly. And of course, if you tweet Break It Down Ryan, hashtag Break It Down Ryan at me with a unique picture of it. Maybe it's a picture of you and the family watching the stream. Maybe it's a selfie of you crying down there in South Carolina because you don't have any snow. Just make it unique. Tweet it at me. Our mods are going to pick a winner, and then I am going to do a customized forecast for your hometown. So go ahead and start sending in those pictures and videos while I zoom out on the weather radar here. And we kind of take a look at some places that are not some of the places that we do nothing but talk about during this stream, okay? So where's everybody located today? Let's get this going. Let's turn our observations back on and start looking at some temperatures. Once again, it's about 36 or 34 degrees over here in Seattle. Portland's around 41 degrees as we are approaching the early morning sunrise hours down here. Los Angeles has went from 46 to 50 degrees. We've got some snow showers and some heavier snow showers in central Minnesota there near Albuquerque, where it's 30 degrees. Flagstaff is at 16. What are some of these very low temperatures? In the mountains of Montana, it's -9, -18 up here in northern Montana. Look at that, guys. It is extremely cold. I know we got some Canadians watching. Where are our Canadians at right now? Buddy, it's -24 up there in Red Deer. -31 in Saskatoon, and then down here in Winnipeg, it's -18, which is a balmy 4 degrees higher than it was the last time we checked. It's -5 in Minneapolis, and of course, the further south you go, the warmer it gets. But we're going to skip our storm here because we're going to get back to that right here in a second. And over here in New York City, it's 37. It's 37 in Baltimore also, 37 in Virginia Beach. How about that? And then, of course, we all want to be down here in Savannah, Georgia, where it's 60 and 75 in Miami. This is a broad overview of everything that's going on right now. If you are anywhere in that circle, you are undergoing a major winter storm right now. Now, if you are south of the circle, you might see some rain, but for the most part, this is going to be not very impactful for you. If you're north and west of the circle, the next 24 hours are just going to be cold. All right. Now, if you're north and east of the circle, this is where we're talking about the potential for some big-time impacts from this storm as we go into the future. So, speaking of the future, let's talk about that on the weather models. Let's look at the whole country. All right. We're done zooming in here, okay? At least for the brief moment that we are talking about right now. We're done zooming in. We're going to zoom out and look at the whole country. What's that future view looking like for you guys? Let's go over to the weather models. Of course, this is what it looks like right now. As we go into the future, you're going to start seeing that rain and snow break out around 2 a.m. in the morning and Thursday in upstate New York. A little bit earlier than that in Pennsylvania. And, of course, it's going to get warm before it gets cold in New England. Okay, so if you have, I know a lot of you guys are still snowed in. You got a bunch of snow on the ground. A lot of that's going to melt before the snow or the ice comes back into you. Once again, Florida, you're nice, calm, and warm. A couple snow showers in the higher elevations back here in the plateaus in western Rocky region, heading towards the Sierras and the Cascades there in the Pacific Northwest. Most of this is going to be happening in the higher elevations, but I'm telling you, for the most part, outside of our major storm, everybody's pretty quiet. After this thing goes by, I might get to sleep a little bit as we do have a little bit of a break coming in directly after this storm. Now, in our next weather breakdown, we will look at the long-term forecast and see if there's any more big winter storms coming down the road. We'll look at more than just the next 60 hours is what I'm trying to say. So that's what the radar looks like for you guys. Hopefully that gave you a good idea. We'll do it again in an hour. And now it is time to talk about our winner. Let's break it down for a local here, a local viewer from Seligman, Missouri. These critters aren't happy. Thank you so much, Janice, for from Seligman, Missouri, for the very unique picture here. We are going to do a forecast breakdown for your hometown. So go ahead and record this and put it on Facebook. Everybody will get a kick out of it. Hashtag break it down, Ryan. Thank you guys for participating. I think this is fun. And of course, thank you for sending the very nice picture there. So let me get this set up. First of all, I'm sorry if I'm saying the name wrong, okay? I'm sorry. I really don't know if I'm saying it right or not. But I am going to make sure I figure out exactly where it is on the map so I can give you an accurate forecast here, okay? So Seligman, let's do one more thing. Seligman, Missouri, pronounce. Let's see what Google says. Oh, man, there's no way to look it up. Like that. All right, I'm going with Seligman or Seligman. I'm going with it. Anyways, the city that we're talking about here is in southern Missouri, really close to the Arkansas border. It's a very small town with a population of only 851. Let's go down here and look at where Seligman is. It's really close to Joplin on the southeast side. Oh, look, it shows up. It shows up on our map. There we go. Population of 851. It's a city in the Sugar Creek Township, Berry County, Missouri, in the United States. The town is named after Joseph Seligman, a prominent 19th century businessman. The name Seligman is of Yiddish derivation, and it means a joyful, cheerful person. Wow, would you look at that over there in Seligman, Missouri, where right now you're not seeing any snow. Okay, the temperature's around 27 degrees, and you're not seeing any snow. But are you going to see any anytime soon? And the answer to that is yes and no. Okay, so if you're over here, you're not going to see any big snow work in the next couple hours or so. However, you're going to see some light flurries, and that second punch of snow is going to wallop you, and you might even have some significant accumulation from that. Let's look at that on the weather models. We're going to pull up Missouri for you. That way we can see exactly what we believe is going to happen as we go into the future. Let's go back over here to the weather models. Once again, Seligman is right here. All right, so keep your eye on that location as I pull this forward. Let's keep going. Now, the temperature is not going to change much as we go into about the 6 or 7 p.m. time period. However, the temperature above your head is going to remain warm enough to produce sleet in the beginning. So around 9 p.m. tonight there in southern Missouri, you're going to start to see some sleet pellets fall. But I do believe as we get later on into the night, into the early morning hours tomorrow, around 12 a.m. midnight, you're going to switch over to all snow. And buddy, this is going to be heavy snow. Okay, it's going to come down hard. It's going to come down fast, and you might even get thunder snow. All right, if you're willing to stay up all the way till 3 a.m. tonight, take a picture or a video of thunder snow, and I will deliver. I will have pizza delivered to your house. I don't know if you've got pizza delivery there in Seligman. All right, I've lived in a small town my whole life. It took us a while to get it, but if you do have it, I'm going to have somebody drive it down. Lord goodness, we might even have Vince Waelti himself deliver it to you if you. If you can get me a video of thunder snow down there and prove that it was taken tonight or today. But yeah, that snow's just going to keep getting heavier and heavier as we go all the way through 9 a.m. early in the morning tomorrow. And then let's see here. It does kind of let up a little bit around 4 p.m. And then it's going to be done. Around 4 p.m. tomorrow, it'll be done. So your biggest impacts are going to start around 10 p.m. tonight and go all the way through 2 to 4 p.m. tomorrow. And in that time, you can expect to see at least 7 to 9 inches of snow. Okay, 7 to 9 inches of snow. That's going to be my forecast for you. It just depends on if that sleet switches over to snow sooner. If it does, you'll get the higher end, might even approach 10 inches. And if it doesn't, you might end up on the lower inches or the lower side. So that was my official forecast for Seligman. Let me know if you guys like that. I'm having a blast doing that. Once an hour, every hour, we will zoom out and take a look at the big forecast for everybody and then zoom in on somebody who sends in a unique photo or video. So thank you guys so much for staying tuned during our weather breakdown, and super huge shout out to all the support. Lord goodness, everything's beeping and going crazy. We got Nessa, who become a slight risk member. We have Old Man Give. He says, thanks a million. YouTube is all jacked up today. Your viewer count keeps going from 1 to 13,000 and some other number. YouTube they mess up quite often. We're just going to leave it to them. I trust that we've got a lot of people here. That's all that matters. I can feel your all's presence. It's like we're all in the same room, if you ask me. We're all experiencing this snowstorm together. But he says, also noticed you never got what? Oh, you never got a notification that I was live? How many of you guys got notifications? Hopefully that's working well. That's important, especially in tornado season. We want to make sure everybody gets their notifications. A great way to circumvent that is to follow me on Twitter, because I always post the streams on there as well. Also Instagram, Facebook, the whole 9 yards, at Ryan Hall, y'all. A night shift with the big 50 bomb. He says, love your live streams. Well, thank you, man. I appreciate that. I'm so glad that I can, do this and you guys like it. I'm tickled to death. This is seriously the best job in the world. Thank you guys so much. Russ Spears, thank you for becoming an extreme risk member. That's a huge deal. Thank you so much. Ronnie T with the big 20 bomb, and JJ Rush with the 30. Wow, thank you guys so much. Once again, that's a steak dinner for Vince Waelti tonight. After hours and hours of driving down the road, looking at a big old bunch of nothing, really, until he gets a little bit further south and approaches some of that heavier snowfall. How's it going, Vince? What's the update? We're thinking about maybe breaking the stream into 2 parts today, and then kind of having you focus a little bit more on the snow later this evening. But I don't know. I wanted to get your input. What's your plan? Do you think you're going to keep going south, or are you going to stay there in central Illinois? I just want to hear it all from you. Paint a picture for us. Let's see what Vince has to say about that.
Sure. Well, I'm near Rochelle right now. I actually just went through the area where the 2015 Rochelle tornado went across the highway, and there was still tornado damage present. I'm on 39 southbound right now. The roads are a little bit slippery, as you might be able to tell on stream there. I'm going to be headed down farther south on the interstate. I may head a little bit farther east to keep up with these snow bands. but I know that we were kind of expecting on the models maybe a break in the precip for a couple of hours later this evening. I may use that time to reposition. I may end up even heading toward the Toledo area or the Indianapolis area. I'm not sure. I guess I'll look and see how that second swath of snow sets up in a couple of hours. So if you do break the stream, that's fine. I'll definitely be out here either way.
All right. Sounds good. And as you keep going south, keep us updated. If things change visually as far as the road conditions go, just throw me a quick holler over here and I'll throw your stream up. But be careful and keep us updated on what you're planning on doing. So that's Professional Storm Chaser Vince Waelti.
All right, thanks.
And yeah, he's just out there driving around in the snow. Mike Scantlin is down there in Oklahoma. I don't know if he's got an update for us or not. Hey, Mike, how's it going? See if he's got anything to say. Obviously, not a lot's going on in Oklahoma right now. We're going to wait for some of those heavier bands of precipitation to form later tonight. But that's another reason why I might split the stream into two parts today. That way I don't, kind of burn myself out before the biggest part of the storm happens. We'll call this the forecasting section of the live stream. Then we'll do the nowcasting, and then we'll do the postcasting. Hey, thank you guys once again for continuing to send in pictures and videos on the channel. Ooh, here's an updated view of Fort Wayne.
I don't know if he would be able to help.
Fort Wayne, Indiana. It's definitely snow there now. We were debating earlier as to whether or not we were all snow and whether or not we were all rain because the radar was a little bit conflictive. But now we know for sure that we are mostly snow, at least in Fort Wayne. Thank you, David, for sending that in. Huge shout out to everybody who is keeping us up to date today out there on the ground. Please only take pictures out of your windows and your door frames. We don't want anybody out on the roads today. Here's Jeans in southeast Michigan today at 10:50. Wow. Decent amount of snow already piling up there. Thank you for that. Looks like it's still coming down good. That's that heavy, wet, fluffy snow. By the way, a lot of you guys are going to be getting the kind of snow that is snowman worthy. Okay, and you guys know I love my
I'm
snowman.
in downtown Tulsa right now here, just getting a little bit of a drone flight in, showing some of the highway traffic and, snow plows and the salt trucks and all that stuff. But, not really much of a change here. Still off and on, intermittent freezing rain here. Truck says I'm at 27 degrees, so I'm probably more like 24, 23. Truck runs a little hot. But, we have had some ice pellets just off and on here mixed in with the drizzle. But, no major changes here. Still no accidents or anything. A lot of the crews are out keeping the roads clear and treating the bridges and overpasses. So right now it's smooth sailing, but, we're just right on the cusp of when things start to go downhill.
Have you been to any like stores or supermarkets? What's the general vibe down there? Are people kind of like freaking out about this storm? Is it a milk and bread kind of deal, or are people pretty relaxed over there in Tulsa about this?
We did do a little bit of grocery shopping last night, and, there's no milk or bread to be found anywhere. A lot of the non-perishables are gone as well. I also hit up a couple hardware stores, and they are completely out of sidewalk salt, as well as shovels and, things like that. So people around here have been prepared for a couple days. We've been talking about it on the news quite a bit, and, hopefully it's not too big of a deal and doesn't shut the city down for a couple days. I was in Minnesota for a big winter storm in December, and it's crazy. They get 16 inches of snow and everything stays open. They clear the roads and everything's business as usual. But, down here in Oklahoma, it's a little more rare to get 6+ inches of snow, and it'll shut us down for a day or two at least.
Yeah, that's kind of what I figured, and that's what we're looking at there in Oklahoma. I know for a fact one of the reasons why this channel, this channel over the past week or so has grown exponentially, and it's because whenever these snowstorms start to affect areas to the south a little bit further than what they normally affect, people really get interested in it. They really get interested in being prepared for it because it can cause major disruptions in life to these people in the South. I know that we got a lot of people watching in a big area, right? If we head on over to our radar, Omega radar, and we zoom out again and we look at everybody under the pink there is under a winter storm warning. And, you know, this is the American warnings only, so this would technically stretch up into Canada as well. Everybody under the pink here is under a winter storm warning. And you guys up here in the north are probably like, oh, well, here we go again. I guess we'll just put on another jacket or an extra layer of clothing. But you guys, some of you are new to the level of concern that comes from snow in the South. Okay, so just know that everybody's got different experiences here. We have different infrastructure. Just because you're used to getting 20 inches of snow in Buffalo doesn't mean that Dallas has to, and that's why, you know, people take it a little bit more serious as you go further to the south and west. And also, we're talking about more than snow in this area right here. Okay, so if you're in, you know, southeastern Oklahoma, Arkansas, West Tennessee, West and Central Kentucky, there's absolutely no shame whatsoever in taking this extremely seriously because, you know, we're talking about power outages that could last days and shut down sort of infrastructure and travel systems to where you can't get out of the house, you can't leave, you can't do anything because all of the things that make the world go round stop working when you put an inch of ice on them. So that's just a quick explanation as to why the interest is different the further south you go. But yeah, this is a big look at the current watches and warnings out there. If you're in the pink, you are under a winter storm warning. If you are in the purple down here, you're under an ice storm warning. And then the blues up here are under a winter storm watch. That might be upgraded a little bit later today. We're going to keep a very close eye on all that as we go forward. Hey, Big L, thank you for the big 20 bomb. Daniel, thanks for becoming a member. CJ Wright with the big 20. Thank you guys so much for all the support. Your generosity means the world. Means the world to me and everybody that is behind the scenes here helping us out with the channel. Remember, continue to send in your reports, sorry, to at Ryan Hall y'all on Twitter and also Facebook if you want to. If you want to do it through Facebook, you can do it through Facebook. We've got somebody over there watching, sending me your pics. Brett, thank you so much for this video. I don't know where this is, but it looks awfully snowy. We've got a picture in from Kyle, 4 inches on both sides of the yard here in Esther in in Columbia, Missouri. This is Kyle. This is the Kyle. I'm gonna retweet this. We can get that on Facebook too, Carly. That'd be cool. But this is where our live camera is. So Kyle has been kind enough to share his front yard with us. With a live stream there pointing at the yard. We're going to continue to see snow pile up here over the next day or so. So thank you so much for providing us with that. That's super duper awesome of you. Let's see if we can't get any more pictures and videos on here. Keep them coming in, guys. Remember, at Ryan Hall, y'all, on Twitter. Here is Dylan. And Ripley, West Virginia, got us on the TV screen there. Might as well. Might as well. You know what I'm saying? What's this? Hey, thank you guys so much. Here's a look at Ontario. There we go. There's our Canadians. After the whole morning ice and rain, it finally started to snow in Waterloo, Ontario. So there we go. You're probably going to be snow from here on out. Probably going to be snow from here on out. Ooh, here's a good picture from Goshen, Indiana. This is, once again, the kind of snow that I like when it starts really piling up on the trees out there. Now, unfortunately, this can cause some intermittent, isolated power outage problems. But I love it. It looks beautiful out there in Indiana. Thanks for that. Thanks for sending that in through Facebook. Ryan Hall, y'all, on Facebook as well. Hey, super huge shout out to Jackie. Says, thank you, Ryan Hall, for all you do. You're the best weatherman. Aw,
181 minutes.
I don't know if I'm the best. I don't know if I'm the best. There's definitely some very, very good weathermen out there. Paramedic supervisor. Thanks for becoming a moderate risker. And Mock says, honest thoughts for Bowling Green, Kentucky. That's going to have to come here in a little bit, because you hear that, guys? That's another sound. There's a lot of sounds we're going to have to start listening to if we watch long term on this stream. When you hear the harp, it's time for me to go refill my water bottles and take a quick break. That means that we have been going now for 2.5 hours straight. Thank you, guys. How many of you guys have been here since the beginning? Once again, we are going to take a very quick break here on the Ryan Hall Y'all YouTube channel. For my health, it has been noted that it's probably not great for me to sit here for 6 hours at a time before I take my first break. So I'm going to start trying to do every 2.5 hours. I take a 10-minute break or so. So I'm going to go hydrate. Might get me a little something to eat. You guys stay tuned. All right? Don't go anywhere. All right? Please continue to share this on Facebook, share this on Instagram, share this on Twitter, and all that good stuff. You know you want to. You know you want to get the word out of there. I know you wanted to keep me the best kept secret, but I mean, that's just not fair. It's not fair, guys. All right, give me just a second here. I'm going to try my best to make a BRB screen for you. Remember, I have to do this every time, it seems like. So give me just a second. Once again, you guys are going to see that live producing action. Live producing Ryan on the screen here. Hopefully we'll only have to do this one time. And then we're going to bada bing, bada boom. Let's go. Oh. All right. Give me just a second here. We're going to figure this out. We also, oh, I see. Okay, so I'm going to come back over here. I'm going to Control Z that. Oh, my goodness. Live production on the fly. Where else do you get this behind the scenes action? The Weather Channel? No. Ha! Got him. All right, now I should be good on this one now. To kind of full screen our view. I just want to make sure y'all don't get bored while I'm gone. I want to give you something to look at here, Lord goodness. It ain't hurting me none to spend a little bit extra time on this. Oh, boy. Dang. All right, this is going to have to be good enough. This is going to have to be good enough. There's your live streamers, and I will be right back.
They messed up or something, like for the credit card deposit for the incidentals. They ended up accidentally.
I'm making 841's gonna handle this. There's another 1040 vehicle up around St. Charles and US 61. I'm gonna go check on this.
I don't accidentally run up a credit with like the deposits. It's easier to keep track of.
You're muted.
So I still get this $500 sitting on my car.
Hey, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? All right, so we're going to go back and pretend like that never happened. Welcome back. Welcome back to the show, guys. Just got back from the break. Definitely didn't forget to turn my mic back on. Anyways, thanks for sticking around. And what I was saying there when I was talking to you the first time was we used to have this be right back screen, right? Whenever I went to go take a break or whatever, everything was already set up and it showed the music that I was playing and stuff. I'm going to build that again as soon as I get a free second. But I just don't have it yet. Because I know a lot of you guys, some of you like the music that plays in the background and stuff, and it's pretty cool. Also, I was pointing out that we have 1,385 members of the channel now, which is amazing. It's huge. And I just wanted to say thank you to the almost 100 new ones already today. Welcome to the biggest and best online weather nerd community, I think. Thank you for supporting the channel. It really means a lot to me, guys. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for putting this out there. I've seen this all over Facebook. So you guys are definitely doing the sharing work out there. Thank you for that.
Into the main metro.
All right, let's see what OKOEG Weathers has to say here. He's tagged us in a pretty nice video out there in somewhere near St. Louis.
I'm at Highway F, just south of New Melly, the western St. Louis metro area, one of the hills that a lot of folks traverse to kind of get in from the rural area into the main metro. Roads have definitely been plowed, definitely snow covered. Again, we got about 4 tenths of rain last night before that changed over to ice. Got about 2-3 inches here this morning, if you will, of snow. Still continuing to come down kind of light. Highway F here looks like it's a little bit snow covered. Plows have been through. People are going up and down, and the road conditions are cautious. So just be careful out there while traveling.
Hey, thank you, KOEG Weather, for sending in that. That was really good. That was a good report, man. I think you, I don't know if you are involved in the media area, but you should just go be a reporter, man. That was really good. Here's a broad view of everything that's going on out there, guys. This is a big look at the country. Everybody in the United States is going to be affected by this storm, okay? Whether it's going to chill you to the bone down here up here in the north. It's going to make you a little bit colder than usual over here in the west. Or you get clobbered by snow or ice or rain or severe weather down here. Or it just makes it, a little bit warmer than what it normally would be. Everybody in the U.S. is going to be affected by this massive storm, which is currently working through right now. It's going through, son. It's going through Illinois, Indiana, Michigan, portions of Ohio, into Missouri, Kansas, and Oklahoma. And look at this, guys, our second punch. This is our big one, okay? This is the one down here that's going to come up and drop most of your snow totals. It's coming together and it's forming very nicely in Texas and portions of New Mexico, moving up into Oklahoma. Okay, this is going to rapidly intensify as we go later on into the day. And once again, this is going to be the big problem maker with our ice and our sleet, and once again, those additional snow totals on top of what you already have there in Missouri, Illinois, and up to the north and east. It's still, it's a battle right now in Toledo. Okay, it's raining. It wants to snow. That cold air is trying to come back to you and allow it to snow, but it's just not there yet. The snow hasn't made it quite to Detroit yet. However, it's snowing pretty hard there in Kalamazoo and Jackson and Holt, all the way up into the portions or near Flint and Grand Rapids along I-96 there. That is going to continue to be the case, okay? It's portions of Michigan over here that are going to be the winners with this storm, but the next one that comes through tonight into tomorrow, it's going to be a little bit further south that gets affected by this. So, Fort Wayne, you are all snow now. All snow in Fort Wayne. Lafayette, your snow. You guys know your snow. And the snow's getting close to Indianapolis. It's going to be interesting to see if Indianapolis switches over from the rain to the snow today. What about down here in Illinois? Heavy snow currently on I-70 between Effingham and, let's see here, the border area between Illinois and Indiana. Also heavy snow from Effingham up to Tuscola and Champaign. I'd say that those interstates are pretty treacherous right now. I would stay off of them if I was you. Now, after this big burst of heavy snow comes through there, we're going to see a quick break. Like in St. Louis right now, it's not snowing very much in St. Louis, but it's getting ready to snow again as another little, area of moisture comes through. And we're going to see that this off and on snow kind of ends as we go later on into the afternoon and evening. Okay, once again, about 3 or 4 o'clock, a lot of you in Illinois and Indiana are going to stop seeing snow, and we're going to have a little break period before our next piece of energy comes in and drops the rest of your snow. Over here in Kansas, it's snowing decently in Garden City, all the way over into Wichita. Even over there in Kansas City, you've got some light snow. That's going to intensify with that second push of moisture later. It's not snowing at all. It's really not doing much of anything in Oklahoma or Little Rock, but that is for sure going to change as we go into the future. It's going to start snowing heavily here within the next couple of hours from Amarillo to Lubbock.
Down here near I-80, and it's getting pretty rough now.
And we got a report in from, professional storm chaser Vince Waelti, who is absolutely, that is very rough. He is down here near Utica, near Jonesville, south and west of Chicago there on Interstate 80. And things are definitely getting, man, wasn't it just like right before the break that we checked with him and like the road was 100% clear? I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah, so he is, he's in a decent little snow band now. Oops, what did I do? He's in a decent little snow map or snow band. So we'll see we'll see how long that lasts. But yeah, he's going southbound there on I-80, heading towards Bloomington. So he's right here in that little snow band right there. But man, you can tell that the snow rates on the backside of this storm are pretty intense where it gets colder. Because you don't need that big green or yellow band to put down the snow when you got big time snow rates like this. You can see that it's coming down good there where professional storm chaser Vince Waelti is. Just to give you an even better idea of where exactly he is. He's getting ready to go by Rotary Park in Jonesville there across the Illinois River. This is a new feature that we've got here on the live streams. We've got live tracking. If you see the little blue dot there for Vince, we have live tracking of our storm chasers. This is going to be unbelievably important during tornado season. So I'm very grateful that we're able to test out these bells and whistles during the winter storms so that when hurricanes and tornadoes start happening, we can relay some really, really important information through this live tracking system on our storm chasers. And, all of our storm chasers are tracked, including Mike Scantlin down there in Oklahoma while they're storm chasing. So we are looking forward to putting all this stuff to the test today as we go forward. So, yeah, roads are getting pretty bad out there on I-80 in portions of Illinois. I'm guessing that the further south he goes, the worse they're going to look because they not only are they seeing kind of heavy snow right now, we also saw incredibly heavy snow earlier from them. It's just not completely cleared out over here yet. And it's extremely cold. So that salt and that brine don't work as well whenever it's below 20 degrees or so. Here is a picture or a video from Chicago. Look at this, right on the lake. Thank you for sending this in, man. That's a really good video. For a second, I thought this was like on the beach on the East Coast somewhere. It looked like the Atlantic Ocean for a second. But you can see the icy lake and the waves that are coming up there. Thank you so much for sending this in. It is still snowing in Chicago. And if we go back over to our radar, you can see very clearly what's promoting that over here. Just some of that. Once again, it's lighter snow showers compared to what we're seeing down to the south and east, but still significant enough to cause accumulation. All right. We are approaching 6 inches of snow in Kalamazoo, Michigan. Thank you, Anthony, for sending that in. And let's see here. What else do we have? We have Gus. Gus looking out at the 3 inches, give or take, there in Fort Leavenworth. Thank you, Gus and Judy, for sending that in. It's very awesome. We got a cool little before and after from Carolyn here. Here's a comparison of 2 hours here in St. John, Indiana. The husband will be going out again at 12 p.m. to get another pass in. Thank you for keeping us all updated with the latest forecast information. Hey, no problem. Thank you for this. This is cool. I can't wait to see the noon update over there in St. John, Indiana. You can see that things are definitely piling up there. With our punch number one of our big-time major winter storm, our widespread winter storm, which has, dropped a lot of snow for some people and a little bit less than what we were thinking for some others. Hey, looky here, Colorado Springs. We got another viewer from Colorado Springs sending us a nice snow picture. Look at that. That's cute. He's having that. They are having a blast, though. If you want to send in a picture or a video, you can do that on Twitter at Ryan Hall, y'all. Or you can send in something through the YouTube channel. We do accept videos and pictures that come in through YouTube. And I'm sorry, Facebook. My mind's in a million different places right now trying to read all these messages. We do have several videos coming in, by the way, from Facebook. So let's check that out now. This is a video from Facebook, and it's coming from Michigan City. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, Michigan City, Indiana, from Julie B. Thank you so much for sending that in. As you can see, decent amount of snow piling up there. And then we also have this video coming in from, where is this? This is coming in from Indiana as well. All right, so it's snowing pretty good in a lot of central Indiana. This is that, I'm pretty sure we're getting these videos and pictures in from that big yellow band that we were just looking at on the radar, okay? So if we come over here, a lot of the stuff that you're seeing with the heavier snow is coming from this. So this is heading towards you there in Fort Wayne. It's heading towards you there in, you know, southeastern Michigan. So you guys get ready for this, because that is some pretty heavy snow that's coming down with this. Thank you guys for sending in pictures and videos on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, whatever it is that you send it in on. Twitter obviously is the easiest way, but we're monitoring all the different channels. And look at this. Oh, this is great. Steve White. Steve, this is awesome, dude. Steve has sent us an incredible video of the snow in, let's see here, Hastings, Michigan. Let's tune in for this one. By the way, this is Steve White on YouTube if you want to go look him up. Here we go. Man. Is this some drone cinematography here? Once again, Hastings, Michigan. Beautiful scenery. Beautiful video. You are on top of it out there, man. It is coming down good too over there in Hastings. That is also associated with our bigger band, I believe, unless this was taken earlier in the day. Yeah, that's really cool. That's really cool. Thank you for sending that in. That was that's what I call
My name is Kareem,
a snow report. Okay, that is what I call a snow report. Thank you so much for working with us and sending in your beautiful pictures and videos, guys. Once again, at Ryan Hall, y'all, if you want to send anything over that way. Let's see. I'm going to do one more sweep here, and then I'm going to go back and look at the forecast, okay? Because we do have new forecast data in. It's coming in right now. Here's that snow band in Kalamazoo, Michigan. Big flakes coming down. Hey, look here. Already have 9.5 inches of snow down in Downs, Illinois. 9.5 already. Hey, thank you guys so much. Once again, snow starting to stick there in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Thank you, Pete. And here is a current look at Oakland County, Michigan. Alex has got a nice video of the squirrel taking off there. Thanks for that, man. That's awesome. And then, of course, we got Ryan. We got Ryan out here watching Ryan. We got Ryanception today. Watching the stream today on his... look, is that a curved monitor, man? I love it. I stick with the curved monitors on my setups. I think that it's very, very beneficial if you've got a big, range of motion. You know, when you have to look at all these screens, I go with the curved every day. All right, let's take a look at the forecast model, shall we? You guys want to see what's going to happen in the future? Of course you do. So we do have new GFS data in. Let's look at the multi-parameter here. This is the 12Z. If you want to keep up with the date and time, it's always above my head. All right, so this starts at 1 today. And then we're going to go into the future. GFS shows that second punch coming in exactly the way the rest of them is shown. But once again, it's a tiny bit south and east. It's a tiny bit south and east. And it's also, it's a little bit less amped. It's a little bit less juiced up here with the moisture on the backside, which could, this is one model run. We are now casting for the most part here rather than forecasting. But if that was to verify, that would cut into your totals a little bit there, especially in more northern areas of Illinois and Indiana. But we're not going to pay too much attention to that. We'll look at the short-range data for exact, pinpointing our forecast. What is scary, or what doesn't look good to me, is just the wide range of ice. My goodness, man. A full-on ice storm will be affecting several states tomorrow at 7 p.m. Kentucky just looks, and Ohio looks to be the bullseye, and western Tennessee. Man, I really hope that these models start to back off. I hope that they start to back off on the ice and start adding Big totals back here on the snow again. That's what we want to see. And of course, that is going to eventually slide through the Northeast. And every single new piece of information we get looks worse and worse for the Mid-Atlantic region and the Northeast over here, for possibly seeing that ice storm extend all the way up into Pennsylvania, North Jersey, the New York City area, Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, and maybe even down there in Maryland. That's something that we really have to talk about now as a potential as we get closer to the storm. Ice storm might be coming for you over there in the Northeast, so we'll have to talk about that more as we go into the future. All right, let's look at those snow total numbers. This is not a forecast, guys. This is one model. This is one model. Snow total forecast. On top of what you already have right now. On top of what you already have right now, we're still looking at a foot through a lot of north central Indiana. So that includes, let's see here, Lafayette, for example. That also includes Champaign, Illinois. It also includes Angola and Fort Wayne in Indiana. Now, over here in Ohio, Toledo, around 8 to 10 inches on top of what you already have, which you don't have a lot right now. Once again, this is really, the GFS has really pushed a little bit that second area of moisture. It's pushed a lot of its energy into the ice section and away from the snow. So, once again, one model, one run of one model. We're not believing this, but the guidance is shifting a little bit here. But a lot of Ohio sees more than 6 inches of snow here, on top of what you already have there in Charleston, Indiana. We're talking about another 8 to 10 inches. Now, something that has uptrended quite a bit here is down here in Oklahoma, where Mike Scantlin is, Tulsa. How would you like to see 6 to 8 inches of snow? All the way down there into Wichita Falls, 6 to 8 inches, more than likely. Dallas, you're still on the skiff to a scuff. You're still there on skiff to a scuff of snow, and we're mainly concerned about the ice. Let's look at the ice totals. And, of course, GFS still spitting out maybe more than an inch of ice. Maybe more than an inch of ice for a lot of places there in the darker pink, guys. This is not what you want to see. Guidance continues to show the exact opposite of what you'd want to see for our ice storm. If you guys are in Arkansas, Northwest Mississippi, Western Tennessee, Western Kentucky, Northern Kentucky, Central Kentucky, Southern Ohio, Northwestern West Virginia, and to Southern Pennsylvania, the time to prepare is yesterday, honestly, for a significant ice storm. A significant ice storm, and this trends it even more south. This trends it even more south and east, according to the GFS here. And remember, this is not a forecast. This is a one model, one run, one algorithm. We look at them all. This is one of them. It's the newest, though. It's newer data. The way these forecast models work is they take the current conditions, they plug all those numbers into algorithms, and it spits out the future. So obviously, the more correct those current numbers are, the more correct the model can be. So, you know, the new information is pushing this to the south and east. Man, that is a bad look for Kentucky. That is a terrible look for the mid-Mississippi Valley region there. Holy smokes. Okay, let's look at, do we have a new HRRR? We do. We have a 12Z HRRR as well. Let's just go ahead and look at the ice forecast for that. Oh, my goodness. All right, so once again, I don't want to freak anybody out because these models, I went through this whole spiel earlier. They see the heavy rain and they see the freezing temperatures and they think that every little drop of rain is going to accumulate. That's not the case. I think that because the rain's going to be falling heavily, that could limit our ice accumulation a little bit. But man, this is not good. This is just not looking good for Ohio now as well. Like, not only are we talking about Western Kentucky, well, you know, Arkansas into Western Kentucky, Western Tennessee, all the way up into Ohio, West Virginia, and Pennsylvania now. Like, now the GFS puts the hot spot or the area of highest or most extreme impact south of Columbus, over here near Parkersburg, with maybe over an inch of ice. So, you know, once again, one model, one run of one model. We're not going to take it to heart. but it is not good. It's not good to see this. Let's back up over here into the central U.S. Man, even some higher totals for central Texas. We're seeing over a half an inch of ice for some people down here, and at least a quarter of an inch of ice to a half an inch of ice for some people. So that's unsettling to say the least, that there, according to the HRRR, which once again is, you know, it's notoriously bullish on these kind of numbers. So we're not going to pay too much attention to that. According to the HRRR, in as far as snow goes, you know, we're looking at 10, maybe 12 inches down here in Oklahoma. Oh man, wouldn't you? Woo! What would you think about that if you got a foot of snow in Oklahoma City and Tulsa? The vast majority of everybody here would see 6 to 8 inches is really what this is showing, with a couple of highlighted areas in the 10 to 12 range. And then down around Wichita Falls also kind of winds there. So that's, you know, this is your latest information. This is the latest data. We can also look at the Euro, but that's old. Okay, that doesn't come out for another little bit. Canadian, oh, this is new Canadian data. What time does that start? 10 a.m. So Canadian, you know, it's very similar. It still shows over a foot of snow on top of what you already have over here in Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, and Missouri. But it also pushes it a little bit further south and east, man. This is a big south and east trend. And hopefully you guys aren't new here. Hopefully you've been watching the channel for a while, because in every video, you know, it's important that we, you know, communicate uncertainty here. And the biggest uncertainty with this storm was going to be the placement, the axis of snow and ice, right? And I said that we think that, you know, if there's any trend at all, if there's any shift at all, it's going to be to the south and east. So hopefully that you guys in Northwest Mississippi took that warning seriously. Hopefully you guys in central Kentucky took that warning seriously. And now, you know, even up here into Ohio and Pennsylvania, we could be talking about a devastating ice storm if these numbers come to fruition. Look at this. The Canadian spitting out 2.5 inches of ice, which would be literally the worst thing that could ever possibly happen. I don't think that's going to happen, but you know, it's the models, it's what they're showing. National Forecast Database. They are, man, I love looking at this, right? I love looking at the National Forecast Database because this is a conservative forecast. This is the most realistic forecast you can look at. It comes directly from your National Weather Service. But, you know, they have to analyze the data, right? They have to look at the GFS. They have to look at the HRRR. They have to look at the NAM. They have to look at all this stuff and then update this. So, you know, this is lagged a little bit behind the newest information that's coming in. However, it still doesn't change the fact that if you're in the darker pink there, you got to be prepared for potentially multiple days without power. Still looking at a total snowfall potential near 14 to 15 inches there in northeastern Indiana. You know, Fort Wayne, Indiana. Still think you guys are going to end up with an absolute ton of snow from this.
1372.
Champaign, Illinois, still think you guys could, this will end up being one of the bigger snowstorms you've ever had. But this is trending to the south and east a little bit. Once again, we can hope that the models are wrong. We can hope that the ice forecast is wrong. And we hope that the snow piles on, okay? I promise you, if you live in one of these places where you're expecting ice today, you'd much rather have sleet and snow. You'd much rather have that. I promise you that. So we're going to hope that our forecast models are wrong. But as of right now, it still looks like a very significant ice storm is on the way. Speaking of ice storms, this is what we can see. If we get anybody out there that does receive over an inch of ice, once again, this is extremely unlikely. This is the worst case scenario. All right. But I want you guys to start preparing. Okay. Because now we're getting the early warning out to, I believe now, a lot of people in Ohio. We've been waiting on that. We've been waiting on that new information to come in to kind of confirm what we thought would happen with maybe that continuation of the ice storm to the north and east of Kentucky. I'm pretty sure now that Ohio, southern Ohio, is going to be in the bullseye here for some of the bigger totals, just like western Kentucky.
Registration
So let's start sharing this with people in Ohio. Let's start sharing this with people in West Virginia. Let's start sharing this with people in Pennsylvania, because it's important that we understand the impacts. I'm going to go over this again.
Reference Roberts, they're supposed to be at this scene here within 10 to 15.
I'm going to go over this again so everybody understands the true overall impact that we could be talking about with this storm. Once again, it's not out of the realm of possibility for somebody, whether you're in Arkansas, Mississippi, Tennessee, Kentucky, Illinois, southern Indiana, and southern Ohio. It's not out of the question for some of you guys to get more than an inch of ice accumulation. Now, it's not going to be all of you. It's going to be isolated. We're not talking about a widespread inch of ice here. We're talking about a tenth of an inch to a quarter of an inch, with embedded pockets of a quarter of an inch to a half an inch, with even smaller pockets inside of that in localized areas, small towns, maybe even just the parts of bigger cities where you get a half an inch of ice to more, maybe a 3/4 of an inch or an inch of ice. So if you were to get an inch of ice today or over the next couple of days that accumulates on trees and power lines, and we get a 25-mile-an-hour wind gust come through, which does seem likely, catastrophic damage to entire exposed utility systems, including both distribution and transmission networks. Outages could last several weeks in some areas, and shelters would be needed. And I'm not, once again, I don't read this stuff. I don't show you this stuff to scare you guys. I just want you to make sure you take it seriously. I want you to take it seriously. If you know, some of you guys, it's been a while since we've had a big, ice storm of of that kind of, significance in some of these areas. So some of you might not even know what the implications of an ice storm, you might not know what that means. So that's all I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to communicate the high-end possibilities. And then, of course, we're going to go over the more likely scenario as well. But just know that if an inch of ice doesn't sound like a lot, but if that was to happen, it's a worst case scenario. So if you live in any of those places that we just talked about in the dark pink zones, you have to prepare now. I know a lot of people in these areas, we've been waiting to nail down the forecast. We're not there yet, but it might be milk and bread time. Now, a more likely scenario, worst case scenario, I should say, is going to be here in the 3 and 4 zone. Okay, because a lot of people are going to see a 1/4 of an inch of ice to 3/4 of an inch of ice. Okay, in the worst hit areas. And this is where, if we get a 25 to 35 mile an hour wind gust, we'll go from numerous utility interruptions with some damage to main feeder lines and equipment. Tree limb damage will be excessive, and outages can last 1 to 5 days. That'll be, if you hear about some of the hardest hit areas, that'll be the vast majority of what you hear about right there. Now, just like we talked about with the level 5 here, some level 4 things are possible if you get a 3/4 of an inch of ice with 25 to 35 mile an hour wind gusts, which, based on all the information that we've looked at, is more than possible. Prolonged and widespread utility interruptions with extensive damage to main distribution and feeder lines and some high voltage transmission lines and structures. Outages could last 5 to 10 days. I'm hoping that if we do get a worst case scenario, this will be the extent of it. Okay? Ice storms are hard to predict, guys. I'm not going to sit here and act like I know exactly how much ice you're going to get. And if there's anybody out there that is acting like that, they are full of it. All right? I am the most honest weatherman you'll ever meet. There's some things we're really good at. We're getting a lot better at, okay? But these ice storms, man, pretty much all winter weather, it is a developing science, okay? So we're going to hope for the best and hope that these models are wrong. But if they aren't, you are going to wish that you would have prepared. If you live in an area that's expecting to, if you live in an ice storm warning area, especially, and you don't have, and you're not certain that you'll be all right for 5 days after the power goes out, because you haven't done whatever it takes to get you prepared for that, you're going to wish you would have if these models are right. So I'm going to stop with the doom and gloom now. Okay. I actually hate talking about this kind of stuff. The snow streams are supposed to be fun. So let's make it a little bit fun with. Now, listen. Oh, you hear it? A forecast breakdown. All right. So every hour here on the hour, around 11 or around the 50-minute mark of each hour, we're going to try to do a forecast breakdown where we zoom out, all right? And we look at the rest of the U.S. and we talk about a little bit of you and a little bit of you and a little bit of everybody else that we haven't been talking about today, okay? Because there's more weather than just this big storm. All right. So if you want to be included in this while I'm doing the weather breakdown, tweet hashtag #BreakItDownRyan on Twitter with a unique picture. Something that involves the channel, okay? Maybe it's a selfie, maybe it's your dog, maybe it's you you're watching the stream. Whatever it is, the most unique picture will be picked and sent to me, and I will do a custom forecast just for your location. Literally, like a hometown forecast for wherever you are. But you got to tweet it to me with the hashtag #BreakItDownRyan before I get done with our weather breakdown. All right. And of course, make sure you include your location in that picture, all right? Or else we won't know where to forecast for. So let's zoom out. Let's zoom all the way out. This is what the current radar looks like across the United States. From Portland to Miami, everybody's going to be affected by this storm. But in some ways, some of these things, impacts might be a little bit different than what you would. What am I trying to say? They might be a little bit different than you would normally expect, okay? Up here in Portland and Seattle, it's in the 30s and 40s, okay? And it's only going to get a little bit warmer as a ridge is building up out here in the Pacific Ocean, helping amplify our storm down to the south. It's really starting to warm up there in Los Angeles, around 52 degrees. It was down in the lower 40s when we first started looking at this. Flagstaff is warming up to a balmy 21. Salt Lake City, how about you? Utah. Man, I don't know how many times I've ever said Utah on this channel, but here we go. Salt Lake City, you're at 19 degrees. Idaho Falls, 3. Okay, now, if you look at the big picture here, and we look at the whole country, you can see the trough very easily, and then some very cold temperatures are in there. -2 in Bismarck, all right? -18 in Winnipeg, and -15 up here in Edmonton, and -11 in Calgary in Canada. So you guys are definitely a little bit colder than the rest of us. It's 43 in New York, 37 in Portland. It's 39 in Syracuse, 45 in Pittsburgh. How about you there in Roanoke, Virginia? 37 degrees, and it's 61 in Savannah. Guys, let's all go to Savannah. All right, how about Tampa? 73 and 75 degrees right now in good old Miami. And once again, on the northwestern side of the storm, you're cold, and on the southeastern side, you are warm. It's going to get pretty warm out there today as we go later into the day, and that warm air keeps on dragging itself up. So that is what the radar looks like right now. Hopefully you guys are still tweeting the hashtag #BreakItDownRyan. So we can get a winner in here before too long, and we'll do a custom forecast for you. But real quick, I know you guys love seeing it. Let's see that future radar for the whole country. A whole country future radar here. Let's go. And here it is, composite reflectivity type. Let's go over to the models. If you want to keep up with the date and time, it's over here. All right, and then this is what the radar is going to look like as we go forward. Once again, really the only big impact that we're seeing is coming from our storm. Snow in the north, sleet and freezing rain in the middle, and then down here we are talking about the potential for flooding and some severe weather, okay? And then, of course, that's going to move into the East Coast later tomorrow into Friday. And that's pretty much it. After that, we're all seeing a bit of a break. Maybe another skiff of snow in Wisconsin. A little bit of those mountain showers in, Washington and Oregon. But for the most part, we are doing all right. All right, that's why we're kind of focusing on our big storm here as we go into the future. All right, do we have a winner? Do we have a winner? And yes, we do. The Break It Down Ryan forecast is going to be today for ADN, Captain ADN. Thanks for sending this in. He said, Dad, I can beat a dog picture. Watch this. I love it. I love it. Can we get a forecast for Lowell, Michigan? It's a snow day for ice, and happy birthday, Abe. Yeah, happy birthday, Abe. Future meteorologist right here. Look at that. Man, you are going to be the best meteorologist that Michigan has ever seen. I can promise you that. All right, so let's do a quick little forecast for him, and then we'll jump back into our normal coverage. Thanks for sending that in, guys, and thanks to everybody who is participating in that. I'm having a blast. I'm having a full-on blast doing this, and I think we're going to do this in pretty much every live stream from now on, unless there's like a big, breaking weather, like a tornado warning or something like that going on. Okay, so Lowell, I hope I'm saying that right, in Michigan, is located just to the east of Grand Rapids here. You can see it on our radar right there. It looks like it's snowing pretty good right now. Current temperatures around 25 degrees, okay? So it should be sticking pretty good as well, okay? Here's some facts. Okay, Lowell's a city in Kent County in this U.S. state of Michigan. The population is about 4,000. We got 4,000 people over there, and it's a part of the Grand Rapids metropolitan area. It's about 15 miles east of the city. So over here right now, once again, it's 25 degrees and it's snowing. How long are you going to keep that snow? How long are you going to keep that snow? Let's zoom in on Michigan and let's check it out. Here's the weather models. Here is the latest NAM 12 kilometer or 3 kilometer. Let's see what that future radar is going to look like as we go down the road. Okay, so about 1 p.m. today, this is Eastern time. Remember that, about 1 p.m. today down here in Lowell. Let me draw your location on the map so you can kind of get a good idea of exactly where you are. Okay, so you are right there, somewhere in that general vicinity. So you're going to continue to see snow around 1 p.m., 2 p.m., 3 p.m., 4 p.m. It's still snowing. It's going to start slowing down in its intensity more than likely around 5 or 6 o'clock, and then it is going to move out completely by 9 p.m., okay? So you're done with the snow by 9 p.m. Now, we're watching that second punch, right? The second area of snow. It is going to approach you, and there's still a chance that this model is underdoing the amount of moisture that can hit back here, but for the most part, it does look like the snow is going to be over for you about 9 p.m. tonight, and I think that you definitely have the opportunity to see a couple more inches, possibly even up to 3 to 6 inches more than what you've already seen on top of what you got right now. So I hope you enjoy it, and I hope Abe enjoys it too, man. You're going to be forecasting these things one day, and I'm excited for you. It's an emotional roller coaster, man. Once you start learning about these models and you start keeping up with the GFS and the NAM and the HRRR and all that stuff, it is it's a lot. But if you really do love it, you don't want to do anything else. So thanks for sending that in. That's super cool. I retweeted that, by the way, guys, if you want to see that picture. But Lord, yeah, that's fun. You guys liking the forecast breakdowns? Once again, at around the top of every hour, between, like, for example, around 12:50 to 1 p.m., we will do that again. There's a timer that goes off, and whenever it does, we will do that again. So make sure you're thinking right now of a really unique picture that'll catch our mods' attention, something that relates to the channel, and we'll get you on there next time. All right, so I am going through Twitter. Once again, let's get an update on professional storm chaser Vince Waelti, who is going down I-39 now. He's heading towards Bloomington, okay? So he's almost to Bloomington from Rockford. So roads are, still very snow-covered there. And it looks to me like they're only going to get a little bit worse as we go later on into the day, okay? Because they're still getting some good snow, and they're still expecting some more as we go later on through the evening. So Archie, the dad gamer, said, "Keep up the awesome work, Ryan. You're keeping millions of people safe. Thank you so much." Lori says, Toledo at the Michigan line. I don't know what you meant by that, but if you're saying that you've switched over to snow, that's a good sign. Hopefully you do sooner than later. Going to be a big, thick, wet snow also. So please get out there and build a snowman, guys. That's all I want. I want a big, thick, wet snow to come through my neck of the woods and give me snowman making snow, because I'm tired of this dry, powdery snow. Here we go. Here's a report from West Milton, Ohio. All rain It's all rain. Thank you, Jennifer. You'll get some snow before it's all said and done. You will. You will get some snow before it is all over with for you. Let's see here.
North of Tulsa in a...
Hey, looky here. Okay, I got to show this. We've got Carbonado with an official weather report in Oklahoma. Let's tune in.
Right now I'm in north of Tulsa in Owasso, Oklahoma. The temperature is currently 27 degrees out. We got some ice building up already. Winds are about 20 out of the north.
I love it.
Right now, there's a little bit of snow on the ground, so I'll keep you guys updated.
Oh, please do. Please do. I want continuous updates from you as we go forward, man. That's awesome. All of our future meteorologists out there tuning in and giving us some awesome updates. Thank you so much, man. That's super, super awesome. Let's see. What else we got here? Here is a great picture from Cindy in Peoria. Thanks for sending this in. You got the dog. You guys are just chilling, hanging out, watching it snow, watching the Ryan Hall y'all show. You love it. I love it. Let's see here. What else do we have? We got a lot of people tuning in from all over the place, sending in good pictures. It's unfortunate that we can't use all of these. You know, like this was a great entry to the Break It Down, Ryan. Maybe we should start compiling them and keep like a list of the top ones, and then always pull from the top of the list. But at the same time, if it's like 5 hours from now before we pull this one, it might not be worth it. I don't know. But thank you for tuning in, man. I love the setup. Love it. Absolutely love it. Love the Mountain Dew. Love the radars. You got GR level 2 there. You got it all, and you got the Ryan Hall y'all set up. So you are absolutely doing it right, son. Doing it right. All right, so that's fun. We've already got 5.5 inches there in mid-Michigan. Thank you, Matt, for that. Beautiful snow once again. Love seeing it pile up on the trees. There's nothing better than that, man, if you ask me. If you ask me. We got some more videos coming in from Facebook as well. Let me see. I can't download that. For some reason, I'm not getting the option to. Oh, there we go. So let me show you this real quick. We got another video coming in from Fulton County, Indiana, from Nikki G. Fulton County, Indiana, from Nikki G. This is Indiana. I think Indiana right now is probably the winner as far as snow goes. Like, these guys have definitely gotten the most snow. Am I wrong in that assessment? I think Indiana is winning right now. But that's what the current outlook like is there. Thank you for sending in your pictures and videos. Guys, obviously, and Twitter's the easiest way to go about it. But if you only have Facebook, you can send them in through Facebook as well, and I'm downloading them here and showing them as best as I can. Kyle with the big 20 says, flood watches just extended north to northeastern Kentucky. Lawrence County is now under a hazardous weather outlook, a flood watch, and a winter storm warning. Yeah. Oh, Jen Hensley, thanks for becoming an official sponsor. Everybody say thank you to Jen. That's huge. That's a big move. And if it wasn't for people like that, I couldn't do what I'm doing now. But yeah, it is absolutely unfortunate that I think a lot of people in central Kentucky and northeastern Kentucky are going to experience a flood and followed by an ice storm. I really do think that that's a real possibility. That's a real thing that we have to worry about here, which is quite unfortunate. Our second punch is coming together really well now. We're starting to see sleet and freezing rain in Wichita Falls, Texas, all the way down to Stamford, down to Interstate 20. Vernon. Hey, Altus is seeing snow. Hey, do we have one of our moderators is down here. Are you seeing snow? Let's see a picture. We got to see it. But that's a current overview of everything that's going on in the United States right now. Once again, looks really unfortunate for the ice storm section of this thing, which will affect people in that circle. I hope you guys have prepared. And once again, we're going to be sticking here with you through this thing to make sure that all of the latest information gets to you. And we're going to be nowcasting this thing right here as it continues to grow. All right, let's look at Radar Omega. Okay, this is Radar Omega, my favorite radar app of supporters of the channel here. This is the latest look at the watches and warnings. We got an ice storm warning in the purple. We got winter storm warnings in the pink. Okay, and you know, once again, this thing is huge. I don't think it's been a while since we've seen a winter storm cover this much area. And you know, actually it was last year, but before that it was a long time. So this is a huge winter storm. And I think that these ice storm warnings are going to get extended. I really do. I think that the National Weather Service would be quite wise to extend the winter storm or the ice storm warnings up to the north and east to include Maysville and Portsmouth and Jackson and Athens at least. So that's what we're looking at there on the watches and warnings. Now also, this is a radar app, by the way. You can get this on your phone, Android or iOS. I've got links in the description of this video, and our mods will hopefully post a link as well. One of the cool things you can do on here is not only look at the radar, look at the satellite, look at the watches, look at the warnings, look at the models. You can also look at these live cameras. 16.9 degrees in Burlington, Kansas. Looks like the snow has calmed down a little bit there. What else we got? We got a video from Dudley, Missouri, which is a place that might be impacted by ice. This will be very important to keep up with, the ground temperature there. Just some rain, some wind right now. Got a picture or a live stream up here from Josh as well of the heavy snow in Michigan. So very, very, very useful stuff here. Also, Little Rock, we got a Perry County weather watchers with a live stream there. This is also going to be vitally important to keeping up with everything as we go later on through the day. Once again, Radar Omega. Super awesome weather app. Let's see here. Let's pull up. Yeah, we'll keep it this way for now. If you lose electric, tip a mirror slightly and put a candle and flashlight in front of it and it makes more light. Well, that's a good tip. That's a good tip. That's a very good tip. Let's keep those reports coming in, guys. I like this one. Brian from Demote or Demate. Brian, that's super awesome. Thanks for the report there from Indiana. Once again, this is the snow zone today. You guys are winning, all right? A lot of Indiana, north of Indianapolis. You guys are 100% the winners of this first punch of storm. Congratulations. I'm jealous. Keeping up with our professional storm chaser, Vince Waelti, out here. Roads still look pretty treacherous as he continues to head south. I don't know where he's going. I don't know where the end of his travels. I don't know where he's going, but he keeps going south and he keeps getting into worse and worse road conditions. So let's ask him. Hey, buddy, you got an update for us? Obviously, we can see the roads are still looking pretty bad, but you got any change of plans? You got a destination in mind just yet? Hey, Daryl, thank you for becoming a high-risk member.
Southbound, yes. We're headed about 40 to 50 miles an hour pretty well. Everybody seems to be moving along all right, but definitely slowing it down. Seeing several vehicles in the ditch. A lot of them must have been there prior because they've all got law enforcement removal tags on them, so they've obviously been checked on, but it kind of implies that maybe they went in the ditch earlier. I'm headed toward the Bloomington area. From there, may head toward Danville. Seems like we might be under a couple of these more moderate to heavy snow bands, so I'll keep heading south a little bit and then maybe a tad bit east and try to keep up with this.
All right, 10-4. So yeah, that's professional storm chaser Vince Waelti. Going down the road there, snow-covered road. Where exactly is he? Let's check in on his live location on the map. He's still on I-39, okay? So, you know, he's getting pretty close to Bloomington. As like you said, he's heading southbound about 40 to 50 miles an hour. So stuff is slower, as it should be. But I would expect that it's going to be even slower as we go into the future as some of these colder temperatures work in, and another big, you know, heavier snow band is about to hit this area where he is as well. So we're going to keep up with him. If you are seeing this right now, if you're seeing Vince's picture right now, this is exactly what the roads look like everywhere, north and west of Indianapolis, south of Chicago, north and east of St. Louis. Please stay off the roads today. It looks to me like there's still a good amount of people on the roads, which is, you know, something you never want to see. Obviously, we heard, you know, there's accidents starting to be reported. We've got people pulled over in the ditches. Man, don't underestimate snow, okay? Even if you know how to drive in snow, there's a lot of people who don't know how to drive in snow. So, you know, you can be literally the best, most responsible driver. What's going to stop Sally, who it's her first time ever driving in the snow, doesn't take it seriously, from literally plowing right into you? There's nothing you can do about that. So it's best for us all to just stay off the road. Sally or Barry. It could be Barry. I don't know. Here is a picture from Robert. Here's today's total from Lake Michigan Beach, 10 miles north of St. Joseph. Thank you for that, man. That is that's an impressive amount of snow. Thick, heavy snow. Keep them coming, guys. At Ryan Hall Y'all on Twitter. Looks like we got 3 to 4 inches in Charles, Missouri, and currently snowing pretty heavily. Thank you, Nick, for that. Let's check in on Columbia, Missouri, by the way. Are we seeing any more snow there? Looks like it's still coming down. And the last I heard from our viewer, Kyle, there, I think that we were around 4 inches down. So you guys are definitely going to see more from that second hit, that second punch of snow that's getting ready to come through later tonight into tomorrow. Cloud King says, people don't know how to drive on the roads during summer, let alone snow and ice. Hey, you know, like, some people don't know how to drive, man. And like, I'm not talking about anybody specifically. It's just a well-known fact. Some people don't know how to drive. So they are the ones that are going to harm you, not yourself. You know, I trust you guys. You can drive. But they are the ones that are going to cause, you know, some hard times for you if you try to get out there and drive around in this stuff. So we do have another storm chaser who's going to be joining us later. So here's what I've got to do, right? I have to figure out what my plan is. I have to figure out right now what I'm going to do. We have been streaming now for almost 4 hours, okay? Do I continue the stream until we hit 11 and a half hours and then call it a day? Or do I break the stream and then start up a new one later this evening? Because here's the thing, right? We've done a lot of forecasting today. I think we've all got a pretty good sense of what the models are showing, right? Nowcasting is going to continue to be something that we are concerned about up here. Going to be something that we're concerned about up there. But for the majority of us, we're waiting on this thing. We are waiting for this to kind of bomb out and produce our next big part of the storm. So I don't, like, if I sit here and stream until 4 or 7 or whatever time it is, you know, I'll be ending this stream around the time this starts to get serious, and our storm chaser Mike Scantlin is starting to see some of the biggest impacts. Who's in Tulsa, by the way. So a lot of you guys are saying break, and a lot of you guys are saying, okay, yeah, a lot of people are saying break it up. Oh, do you guys promise you're going to be back? You guys promise you'll be back whenever I come back later this evening? If there's anybody that's telling me to break it up right now that's not subscribed and doesn't have notifications on, me and you ain't going to be friends for long. Yeah, okay. We'll more than likely break it up. We will more than likely break it up. That sounds like a plan to me. So let's check in with our storm chasers here and let them know what we plan on doing. Actually, you know what? Let's talk about timing. We're going to do this together. We're going to do this together real quick. Let's look at the models and let's talk about timing. So, our first punch of snow, I really want to focus on when this second one's going to be working into Tulsa. It might be advantageous for me to even wait until much later. So, like, starting around 8 or 9 Eastern, and then going all the way through like 6 a.m. in the morning or something. I don't know though. We might start at 6 and then go until a little bit early in the morning. I want to be here. I want to be here for you guys right here because I know for a fact that once this really blows up and gets its act together, we're going to know exactly what kind of impacts to expect downstream. This is where all the uncertainty is. This doesn't exist right now. Okay? Like, the reason the models are so clueless is because this doesn't exist. Once it is fully in existence and it's being sampled, then we will know what to expect from the future. That's legitimate nowcasting. So I might come back around 6. And then, obviously, Vince will still be out around that time. So let me get an update from our storm chasers once again. All right, Mike. I know you already told us once, but I've already forgot your plans later for this evening. I'm thinking about splitting the stream up and pausing now and then coming back around 5 or 6 p.m. Eastern later this evening, maybe even 7. Are you still going to be out there then? And how long into the night do you plan on being out now? So that was Mike Scantlin. We're going to wait for a reply from him.
Well, I'm out right now. I'm probably going to do the noon show, and then, I'll probably take it easy for a little bit this afternoon because there's really nothing happening. Until the snow and the sleet starts later, I'll probably lay low, maybe take a nap and catch up on some sleep because I'm sure I'll be out late tonight. Once the good stuff starts to hit, I'll stay out about as long as I can. And, I at least have the 4, 5, and 10 shows tonight. So I will be out and about for most of that. Whatever you're out, I'll make sure that I'm out and about for that.
All right, sounds good. If I'm seeing this right, I think probably some of the bigger precipitation impacts are going to start happening around 6 or 7 for you guys. It might start off as sleet, and then that real heavy snow will be kicking in around the 8, 9, 10 o'clock time frame. So we'll be checking back in with you then, get you a nap in. I'm probably going to do the same, honestly, so I can keep this going for as long as possible tonight. So thank you for everything you've done so far, and we'll see you later. All right, so we got Mike. We're going to have Mike out there in Oklahoma later.
Copy that. Thank you, sir.
Now let's get Vince on the train, which he might be watching the stream. But okay, Vince. Oops. Okay, Vince, I have made up my mind. I figured out what I'm going to do. I'm going to pause the stream now, and then I am going to come back later this evening. Okay, I think somewhere around the 6 p.m. time frame. And now during that time, there's going to be less snow where you are. So, you do whatever you want to do, wherever you are. Whenever we come back, we will check in with you. But I did just want to check with you and see if I do come back at 6, how long do you think you'll be out until it's time to hit the sack? Because we might be going until really early in the morning if I split it up like this.
Go ahead, Mobley.
Gypsy Soul, thank you.
Personal record is 22 hours before I had any issues, so we got plenty of time,
right?
And I'll definitely be up and out here. I'll kind of nowcast it myself also as the afternoon goes on. I'm going to see if it's possible for me to keep up with the snow bands. It's possible I may head off to the southwest also and try to catch that stuff coming up through Missouri and stuff early, but there's lots and lots of road closures out here around Bloomington according to Google Maps, so I'm going to be stopping at Bloomington, see if I can gauge how much snow, maybe get a measurement, and probably staying in this area for a little bit and maybe let the roads settle down and plows get caught up. But I will definitely be around, and if I am not streaming, I may take a break as well, but I'll be out here.
Yeah, get you a little nap in, buddy. I think it's going to be a long night. I appreciate you, and we'll talk to you later this afternoon, and we'll get reset up, but we'll see you then. So, okay, we got Mike, we got Vince. Dominating. Both of them dominating. Now, there's one more I got to check in on here. How about you, Brett Adair? I don't know if he's going to respond. I don't know if he's with his radio right now, but if I get a response from him, I'm going to work out a little plan with him as well, and then I'm going to end it. And then I'll be back at 6 or 7, something like that. You'll see. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel with notifications on, okay? That is super important right now. Super important. We are concluding part 1 of our marathon or snowathon, okay? Once again, we are concluding part 1 of our snowathon as we are going to break this up into 2 separate streams. Now, be back around 6, and we'll go until, everybody wants to go to sleep. It's not just me now. Also, we have our storm chasers. We have our moderators, right? We have our moderators. Like, I don't know if they're going to sleep during the day. And so like, we'll work it out. But I will be back this evening. And we will get this taken care of. Okay. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button. Of course, it's tradition. At the end of the streams, I throw up the live subscriber count. So let's do that now. Ooh, boy. 375,000. Are you kidding me? Wow, look at that, guys. Thank you so much for the explosive, literally the explosive growth on the channel. If you like what I'm doing here, if you think it's valuable, all I ask is that you subscribe. It's free. It's free. It's free. What do you got to lose? It's free. And you get notifications. You get to see all the forecast videos. We've been talking about this storm for a while. Everybody's known it's coming. We let them know. All right. So, also, super huge shout out to all of our members, okay? So there's 1,396 people who become members. That's not free. Super extra huge shout out to you guys. So, also, shout out to our moderators, our storm chasers, and everybody in the background that makes all this cool stuff happen, all right? So thank you for watching. I am going to, eat some lunch, continue to look at the forecast models, maybe take a nap. Please, I'm going to have my phone with me, okay? So please keep sending me your snow pics, your videos on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all that good stuff. And I will see you later tonight. All right. And then, of course, we'll go to sleep tonight, and we'll probably see you again live on Thursday as well. So this is a snowathon. Okay. There might be 3 or 4 episodes to this. So I will see you all very soon. Goodbye.